And what we'll do is, so I'm going to take everybody out of the stage here and put everybody in the green room. Joe and I are going to start the show. We'll do our quick week in review, and then Joe, are we going to skip headlines, or do you have something?
Let's. I
We'll
have
skip it.
something, but I can save it. We'll skip it because we got so much going on already.
We'll skip it. We'll do our quick week in reviews, and then we'll do FTG gear of the week, and we'll save just the tip for during the conversation when things kind of like, because I have a couple of questions that people had asked on Instagram that we can kind of use for just the tip and provide that.
Okay.
Right. This is a good one. And there's one specifically I think everybody's going to have some interesting feedback from or about. Oh, actually, you know what I'm going to do, guys? We're live and people can see this. I'm going to tell you the questions. Bogley, I'm sure you're going to want to jump in on one of these. It's about BFS. The question is BFS worth it or just stick with spinning rods? So I've got a lot that I can put in there. I know you've got some feedback too. Zach, you as well, and Joe, you might too. But if anybody has any BFS feedback, we can talk about that later. And then the other one, the other one that everybody is like, that everybody will be able to put some input in is specifically for bank fishermen. From the bank, what are you looking for that might give you a sign of a good spot?
Ooh.
Essentially, like, what the hell is fishy shit? It really is.
That's actually a great
no trespassing sign. No trespassing sign.
We have no
trespassing
sign.
A golf course. A golf course.
No golf course.
Yeah. So we'll kind of we'll cover those like when we get and adjust the tip. Oh wow,
that's the stuff.
That's
right
fancy.
It's
fancy.
It's cheap money too. It's not even expensive.
No kidding. You ever try Jefferson before?
I love Jefferson. Ocean?
So that's one of them. They have that at the Delaney house. There's another Jefferson that they have at the Elks where I do my trivia tournament.
Jefferson's Reserve, maybe?
I think so.
Jefferson Reserve,
yeah. And it is fantastic.
It's fire, yeah. Jefferson. The Ocean one's really good too.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one that was the one with the story I told when I had a bunch of friends over and they used that as a mixer and it was like $130.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Whiskey.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Like, oh yeah, we're making Jack and Gingers, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was a gift. Yeah, it was a gift too.
Oh, fuck. Like if they just wanted to drink it neat, you're like, hey, enjoy it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful. That's awful. All right, so we got a bunch of folks in here. We got 7 people. I think they're all primarily on YouTube, but so I'm gonna go across and start removing you guys. We'll go ahead, we'll start recording. Take you guys out. Boom, boom, boom. There's Joe. And then Matt. And here we go. All right, I think we're looking good.
Why is that
I think this is good. I'm gonna go ahead and hit record. So don't ruin anything. A lot of people in here. A lot of people. Oh, South Detroit fishing too. That's all great and all, but have you tried Afghan Kush?
2 seconds, Bobby.
Yes.
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
I just gotta grab the
it.
remote to zoom this out.
Hi, everybody. We're gonna record some quality stuff. Afghan Kush. I've had lots of Kush while wrapped in an Afghan. Todd S says, no luck, water's moving. Lots of icebergs and logs. Nice to make a few casts, though. That's good. Brody says, what's up, guys? How you doing, Brody? What do we got here? I'm getting texts from Bogley. Says, just took 200 milligrams of edibles at 5:30. Okay. That's good.
Whatever.
Whatever. I got Joey Diaz in the house.
All right, let's do this.
Friggin' miss you guys. Friggin' miss you too, bud. And who else is in here? There's Josh. Let's just check Josh's mic. How you doing, Josh?
Check.
Hello. Beautiful. Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get fired up. I'm gonna put you back in the green room for a sec.
Cool beans.
All right, here we go. Fucking A. Rolling here. Everything's good. Everybody's happy. Let's go ahead and switch screens. And we're rolling in 3, 2. Bobby Roast Beef here, Jigs and Bigs. It's another Tuesday, and man, we have an amazing show to get to. First and foremost, man, it's so nice to finally be on the water in 2025. I can't say that enough. Wow. We'll cover that in a quick little week in review. I got Who the Fuck is Joe Brown in the house? He's got a lot of high-quality stuff to go over as well. But we're going to be speeding up this first segment of the show because the second segment that we've got, guys, and you definitely don't want to miss this, we have a roundtable conversation with an entire cast of characters with us. We're going to be talking about probably one of the biggest things that every single angler can relate to, tackle shops, big box versus local. What's the deal? Where do you weigh in on it? Who's got what advantages at what time? And is there a way we can all exist in the same world? I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're going to get a lot of information. Plus, we're going to be answering some questions, too. We got a really, really good question that came in, specifically for you bank anglers and you noobs that are just getting out there. You're going to want to stick around and pay attention for this. We got a great show, Jigs and Bigs goodness lined up for you. Grab yourself something delicious to enjoy. We'll see you guys in just a bit. Don't go too far. More Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up right after this. I freaking love it. How we doing, Joe? How's everything going this week?
I'm
for
good,
you, huh?
man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing okay, dude. I'm doing all right. You know, I was listening back to last week's episode, doing that little quality control thing that I normally do, and man, I'm telling you,
of course,
like it was so exciting to listen back to that story of you and your buddy out barracuda fishing, like just unbelievable, man. And
one experience. I could sit here every week and talk about it. It was just such a crazy experience.
Now you got me kind of thinking that might be the move. I might have to start throwing some ideas around and make that shit happen. There's a couple of things that we got to just get going because we have a whole waiting room right here. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guests that are in the waiting room right now so that we can have another one of our roundtable conversations, probably one of the more popular style of episodes that we've been putting out. And this one everybody can relate to for sure, regardless. It's similar to the bank versus boat versus kayak because you fit somewhere in that mold. Here we're talking about tackle shops, big box versus local. What are the advantages of each, if there are any? What are the disadvantages? Is it possible for the two to exist and there to be a need for both? You know, and then where does the internet come into play? So I think we have a whole lot to get to. Let's talk about our weeks. I'm going to jump right in because I have some fishy shit to talk about. So, like I mentioned in the intro, Bobby Roast Beef did get on the water this week. It was a good thing. Did all the checks with the boat. Everything is looking fantastic. I'm feeling really good about it. Got my gas tanks all filled up. Actually, I didn't even have to fill the gas tanks because the last time I took it out, you guys remember?
It was all ice and we didn't use any gas.
What the fuck is that? What the hell is that? Oh, I know what it is. Did you notice, Joe, how that intro took a little bit longer?
It did. I did notice.
It did? Okay, so I put that cue point in there like I had normally, and then remember I mentioned that this program I've been waiting for another update. I got the update. I got the update on Friday. Yeah.
Okay.
So I updated and I thought everything was good. I went and I worked on Sunday, and then it went to it was great. And then just now I got the spinning little wheel of death, and then it started playing that song again, like right in the middle of talking. So, hey, you know what?
Fuck me, right? Go fuck me.
Isn't technology amazing?
It's awesome, man. Oh, it's the best. I just love it. Anyway, let me get back to this. So the boat's all set. Everything's ready to go. And I had plans the previous Saturday. I had made plans to go out with my buddy Paul. Well, it was like Tuesday, and he calls me and he cancels. And he's like, yeah, dude. He's like, I'm not going to be able to make it happen. He's kids' sports and stuff. And I was like, hey, it's all good. Don't worry about it. I'm not letting that hold me back. I'm going. I'm sending it. Well, I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, I haven't fished with Eric in a hot minute. Let me go ahead and message him. And Eric's a dude that I fished with a number of times, and every time we go out, it's a great time. We had an absolute blast. Let me tell you. So we got on the road for about like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and Yeah, it was about 6:30, and I think in total it took just under 3 hours for us to get there with like a stop on the way. We
Sure.
wanted to fill the cooler with beverages and grab something for breakfast and everything. And then of course you want to make that stop right before, because right now none of the facilities are functioning at any of these ramps. So if you're hoping
Ooh,
that there's going to
true.
be a
Yeah,
porta potty, you might want to stop outside. So I was planning for that in advance. So we did all that. Everything's cool. And we headed up to this one body of water that gets mega pressure out on the Cape. And, as we're coming down 495, I'm looking at all these ponds and all this water on the side of the road. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like everything's open. It's wild. This is such a good feeling, So we get out there and the wind was brutal. Like you would even mention it earlier in the week to me. You're like, dude, hopefully it calms down a little bit. But we had about like 22 miles an hour, I think, for the most part of the day that we were out there.
Like
it was pretty ridiculous.
or like just gusts?
It was gusting higher than that. It was
Yeah.
probably sustained like right under 20. And yeah, it was pretty brutal. It was gusting, I'll bet you, closer to 25 or 30.
Sheesh.
And it was nuts. And it was like the wind is changing direction. So like we'd be spot locked in an area and it would move things around.
Right.
Everything went awesome though. It's nice because Eric's got some experience, so I popped him in the boat and got him all set. And what I did was I was like, I just want to make sure the motor's going to start before I actually splash it and you take off. You know what I mean? So I go, I'm going to leave the strap hooked up and just kind of release a little bit. You start it, and if everything's cool, I'll unhook it, and then we'll be good to go. And that's exactly what we did. Motor started up first try. It wasn't even like a rough start or anything. It was great.
That's awesome.
We sent it and we had ourselves a great time. I can't say that it was fishless. We just didn't put fish in the boat.
Okay.
I had marked a couple of spots that I wanted to hit. And I think we did everything right when we were there. I did have, I was started out throwing a baby A-rig with from Bass Dope, that specific baby A-rig with a specific color plastic that lends itself very well to any of those bodies of water that have the herring run. When they're feeding on that, I'm like, yep, so this is what we're going to do. I actually even sized up a little bit more than I normally would. It was a 3.8 inch that I was throwing for swim baits on that baby A-rig. And I'll tell you what, I used the Jig Masters perfected ball head jigs on the baby umbrella rig. And I'll tell you what, man, I think like I'm a sucker for a screw lock, dude. I just am. And
yeah, you have to be. It's those
like
just
you want to hold on to your plastics. It's like they do it. They get it done,
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Those
awesome.
jig heads are the way to go. I love those. Those are definitely my go-to these days.
They're so good.
Yeah.
So the confidence was really high with that. And I mean, again, like it was tricky to read because like the reports for the water temp was like 38. That's really, really cold. And I'm like, but I've caught fish in really cold, like I've caught smallies in really cold temperatures with moving baits with some flash. So I'm like,
Sure.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to be subtle, but be prepared to move down. Well, no shit. Perfected ball head jig on a 2.8 inch Kitech, in a different color. Actually, you had a white perch snatch this up. And as I'm reeling them in, I'm like, holy shit, this is great. Flops off up by the surface, comes right off the hook. I was like, you are a piece of shit. That would not be the biggest heartbreak that I had, though. So we were fishing in one area right here, which was kind of like near where the herring were going to come in. And it was near a ledge specifically. And we kind of fished this one big area, kind of traveled up and down, fought the wind up there. And then I said, you know what, man, let's go to the northwest corner. Let's just do it and see what happens. And it was up going in that direction that the white perch hit. And when we got up in there, like I'm talking like in that northwest corner, I had a tank smallmouth follow my when he shook off. I had broken off that 2.8 inch swim bait, and I had tied on a 3/32 ounce jig, micro jig with a 2-inch paddle tail on it. And I had this tank smallie like nose right up to it, right near the boat, and then just turn off. And I was like, you motherfucker, if there was like 10 more feet of this bait being out away from me, he might have been taking a bite, but he was right there. There was nowhere else for this to go. I was trying to circle around. It's like he just took off.
Right.
Just too bizarre. But if I could have continued that same pattern for a little bit further, I think I probably would have gotten him to bite. So Eric was just hurting, man. And he did the craziest thing. Like, I guess he was eating like a hard candy the other day. And like a sharp edge of it, like cut down into like behind his teeth on his gums. Yeah, brutal. And of course, he doesn't say this to me until like we're like 10 minutes from the lake. And I was like, oh shit, that sounds terrible, man. He's like, yeah. He's like, so when we stop, I'm going to grab some Advil and take. So I was like, all right, cool. No problem. I think dude, this poor guy was in agony. And I'm like, dude, I was like, let's just give it like, if you think you can make it to like 1:30. And he's like, yeah, no problem. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, because this way I can justify the drive out and everything else. Dude, the real win is that I was like, I'm kind of in the mood for sushi. Last time I was over at the Cape, I went with Sean and we went to Max Seafood afterwards. And I believe Max used to have a sushi menu, but they've since gotten rid of it. I think they just wanted to kind of streamline and focus on like just the hits. So I was like, all right, I'm kind of in the mood for sushi, and Eric's like, let's do it. Let's go hit it. I found the best spot.
Yeah.
First off, so I was like, we got off the water and everything. And I was like, all right, I got fucking wind beard going in every which direction. I'm like, let's go find a Cumbies. I'll go and take a fucking whore bath. And then, we'll go for it. I do have to say that on the boat, this is the first outing with the bibs. Home run. Absolute home run. With the cold, it was only about 40 degrees. And with that wind, like they blocked that wind immediately. I had my Reaper jacket on over and and a hoodie on underneath. And I was absolutely comfortable. No gloves. I was an idiot. Forgot a knit cap. I was wearing this. And I'm like, I almost lost it a couple of times. Like the wind hit it just right. And I was like, motherfucker. So I put the hood on, cinch it down. Jay Manning says the old whore bath. So I'm like, and like I layered up the right way. I was wearing those Under Armour sweats that I like that are like the same material as like the Reaper hoodie stuff. And I'm like, so, I'm good. And I couldn't believe how comfortable I was. I could not believe it. And I think it might be one of these things where I consider buying another pair of the exact same ones in the exact same size to loan out because I am fatter than everybody I fish with. But they're so adjustable. Like there's a cinch strap around the waist, so you can like tighten it up there if you want. Around the legs at the bottom, you can snug that up because like my tiny ass little feet, like they're so long. It's so stupid.
Sure.
But I can't believe, dude, I cannot believe how good they worked. And actually, Benny just chimed in. He goes, yeah, we got no open water yet next weekend. Maybe Benny and I are planning to send it out to the Cape. And we're going to hit up this spot. So I was looking for sushi spots. And I didn't want to go anywhere that like felt too fancy, where like a couple of us degenerate anglers might feel a little bit out of place or might get some looks. So I'm like, let's look for something a little more casual. And I found a spot. That it's in Sandwich, I believe, and it's called JD's Burgers and Sushi. Now JD's is in like a nice, like little bit of a plaza, I'll call it, but it's got a very Cape Cod kind of vibe. It feels like your best dive bar in town. That's the vibe inside, like the decoration. In fact, there was like these T-shirt frames over by the waiting area. And I guess there was something like there was at one time it was called JD's Pondside Cafe. And there's
Is there a Dunkin' Donuts across the street from the parking lot?
I don't think so.
Okay. I was just wondering if it was a place I was thinking of.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not that although, I mean, it's Massachusetts. It very well could be. So I'm looking at this and it says there's a T-shirt and it says JD's Pondside Cafe. I drank the pond scum at JD's. And I'm like, what? I was like, all right, so we got to ask the waitress about this and find out what's up. So anyway, we ate like it was our last meal and we were on death row. I mean, we ordered so much sushi. It was just ridiculous. And I mean, the burger menu looked awesome as well. The entire menu looks absolutely out of this world. So it's kind of nice that there's a spot where I can go pop in and get some food and not feel like I'm like infringing on somebody's nice, good time or something. Granted, I'm looking at fishing the Cape off season. Like as soon as the tourists start showing up, I'm out, and I think that's going to be the plan moving on. But so we did ask the server about the pond scum, and she goes, well, I don't. Nobody's ever even asked about that. I'm going to go ask some of the other staff. She came back and she goes, so it was like a signature drink. Yeah, they don't do it anymore. They don't have the ingredients to make it anymore. And I'm like, we might have to resurrect this thing. Get somebody who's got the recipe.
The shirt down.
I might have to go and reach out to some of the staff and work my magic and see if we can't at least get some decent representation. Because trust me, they're going to be getting enough of Bobby Roast Beef money through the 2025 season that I think it's the least they could do is like figure out, like hook us up with the recipe of a pond scum so that we can use it for our own nefarious, whatever. I think that's just the way. But it was great. We hit the road. Traffic on the way back was actually worse than on the way there, but not terrible. Like it was just there was a lot of cars on the road.
Sure.
I got back and I think it was like about 6:30 or so. Now this is the last day before we changed the clocks. So it had just gotten dark. I just put the boat up in there, and we changed the clocks the next day. And I'll tell you what, man, it feels real good to have sunlight at like 7 o'clock.
It does.
It's dark now, but it is what 20 after. And normally it was dark at 6 o'clock, 6:15. It's like, so we are, it feels a little bit better. Like we have more quality, good stuff, in store for 2025. So it's game on, everybody.
Crazy. It's that time, dude. It's here.
It's go here. Time. And I'm looking at local water, and I'm looking for the river to open up and the Oxbow launch to open up so I can make use of that during the week, because there's no way I'm doing 5 to 6 hours round trip driving to go to the Cape and fish and get a little bit in. It's going to be a Saturday only thing. Or if my kid has a day off of school or something like that, but we'll figure it out. How about you? How are you for fishy shit this week?
Dude, so I didn't get on the water this week. Obviously I was on the salt the previous week, but I'm in full preparation mode. I am going out this weekend.
Nice.
I am pre-fishing I would say scanning / pre-fishing this weekend for a tournament I have at the end of the month.
There you go.
So I'm gonna try to hit there the next 2 weekends, but I'm
there
hoping.
You go. Nice.
Yeah. So dude, I just got to pick up the boat. I told them like, hey, the thing needs to be ready no later than Wednesday for me to pull it out. So they're doing that. And dude, just some preparation, just buying way too much stuff. My daughter's saying hello. Just buying way too much stuff. And like, dude, like I found those 2 reels, dude, those 2 freaking Stratics for a stupid price. And then I got a couple other things I'm excited to come in, but I'm not going to say anything because I want to talk about them on the show because I want to get my take and see if they're as good as everyone else is saying.
Yep.
But other than that, dude, I'm just ready to go. I'm just everything's in the garage, ready to be put on the boat. I'm just ready to rip it, dude. Ready to rip it.
Where is that tournament that you have coming up?
So this one is in Lakeville, Mass, close to the Cape. To the Cape. It's a body of water that I did well. I got top 5 one time, and then I was like bottom of the barrel the other one. So it's
really? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sort of, you're at the mercy of what the lake wants to deliver.
Exactly. So it's like it's a tough spot. I've caught really nice fish out of there. I struggle there when it's cold, but I've been doing a lot of research, and I think I got a plan that's gonna put some fish in the box.
I'll bet you you got it. You're gonna hammer them, dude. I'm telling you.
I'm
telling you.
Hoping.
I love that. There we go.
There it is.
I knew it was bothering you. It was zoomed in so much, and it's just like, God damn it.
I just had the kids run me down AAA batteries for the remote.
That's awesome, dude.
Oh, yeah, dude. But next week I will have some fishy shit to talk about.
Hell yeah, dude. This weekend, I probably won't make it out to fish unless something opens up like local. Like I know it's going to be in the 60s most of the week. This week it's going to be pretty good, so that is good melt weather. We'll see what happens. And then actually over the weekend we're supposed to get some rain, like 1.25 inches through like Saturday or Sunday, which does not look necessarily great. And I don't know what area that's going to cover necessarily, but locally, that's what it looks like. And it's still early. That can change. But that's going to help move things along and melt some stuff too. I'm really hoping I'll be able to get out like to the river within the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm really kind of hoping up. Dan says Connecticut is opening up. That's good.
Yep.
I love that. All right. So tonight's or this week's show is going to be a bit different. Like we kind of started out the way that we normally do. We're going to jump around a little bit. Why don't we do, what do you think we should do? You think we should do Gear of the Week or should we do our FTG?
Let's do the FTG.
Do the FTG? All right, buckle up, guys. Here we go.
Hey, Bobby. Bob Williams here, a.k.a. Country Bob. Yeah, my brother and I were fishing an MAKB tournament, Western Division, on the Oxbow in September. And I was operating my kayak up on the left side, and I noticed a pontoon boat coming at me. And I figured at some point he would probably turn because he was moving pretty quick. And if you watch the video, he actually turns and points his pontoon straight at me. And believe me, sitting in the kayak watching this thing come, the video doesn't do it justice. That's why I got nervous and started to swear. But the guy was a total idiot, no regard for anybody else on the lake. So my brother, who's also the MAKB, he helps run it with Jeremy, the Western Division. I went up and I told him about it, and he said, that same asshole came straight at me too. So I don't know if you use older videos, but this guy, definite idiot. So yeah, I recently signed up for Jigs and Bigs. I love your content, and keep up the great work. I just want to figure out how to watch you guys live on Mondays. I'm a little bit older, so I'm not that tech savvy, but hopefully I'll figure it out by Monday. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
I love it. I think I know Bob's brother, actually. I think I know who Bob's brother is. But Bob recently signed up as a jig head. And he is, so I did see actually he had commented on the post in Patreon. So hopefully all he's got to do is just click the link that's in Patreon. It'll bring him right to the live so he can see it right there. I have a feeling he's probably in here. We got a bunch of people watching on YouTube right now, and only like one or two on Facebook. But you know, I mean, that fluctuates a lot as we go through. But dude, the Oxbow is like ground zero for absolute ass hattery when it comes to those freaking wreck boats, man. And like it never ceases to amaze the idiocy that goes on display, especially with like the pontoons, especially, you know. And it's like you've got folks, it can be tight quarters. Like if he's where I think he was, it is very, very tight quarters. And I guess it's possible that this guy didn't see him, but like you got to do a little bit better than that and keep an eye out. That is bullshit. So better to throw him under the bus. And I can totally understand like how the video might not do justice, because that's especially like on a GoPro on like extreme wide settings.
Right.
You know, you're going to get a different perspective than if you're actually there and you're swearing your ass off at this boat. Sure, absolutely. That's freaking nuts. But appreciate you, Bob. You know, we'll see you on the water, man. And yeah, fuck that guy. That's some horseshit. Nobody wants to deal with wreck boats in that kind of capacity. That is no fun. But we do have some gear to talk about. Yes. Which is pretty good. Let's do this.
Okay, gearheads, it's time to talk tools. Jigs and Bigs gear of the week.
All righty. Well, so what are we talking about for gear?
What you got?
Oh, I thought you had something for gear of the week.
I didn't have gear of the week. I had tip.
You might have said just a tip. What do I have to talk about for gear of the week? I guess I don't have anything to talk about for gear of the week.
So I got something.
You do? Oh,
yeah. So
I'm gonna go back through our text and I'm gonna make sure I'm not losing my
No,
mind.
so I talked about gear of the week for when it comes in like next week.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, that's
so
my bad.
Yeah, but you know what? I had a little something come in the mail today. So for those of you, who like the JDM stuff and like good deals, I'm telling you right now, there's a site called Digitaka.
I love Digitaka.
Ditaka. If you don't know about it, I just got 2 Stratic reels for $268 shipped, and they came to my house in like 4 days from Japan.
I was amazed too. You know, it's funny.
It was insane.
I didn't realize it was Digitaka you had ordered from. When I first got that itch to get those Jackal ultralight bladed jigs, they were one of the only places where I was able to find them. And I think I spent like $9 a piece or something like that, which was infinitely better than what I got them for at the expo in Columbus. But there were, again, it was like they were just limited sizes, limited colors. So I just ordered a bunch and I said, screw it, we're going to go with it. And I remember the delivery being, and I was like, really? People complain about like the delivery from Japan all the time. Like, oh, it takes months to get your stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty good.
Zach said it perfect. Digitaka is faster than Tackle Warehouse by like a week. 100. Like I was like, so it was funny. So I hopefully Meg's not watching this, but it was one of those things where I was like, all right, she's not going to be happy if she sees I bought 2 reels from Japan. So okay, I have time to figure this out. And then I'm at work. I get the notification, the picture that's sitting on my front steps. I'm like, fuck. But the kids did me solid and put it into the fishing room for me. So
yes, there you go, man. That's what you need right there. You're like, I'm gonna pop this in here for you. That is that right there is that is good news. That is good news.
It is.
Jeremiah's hoping, he's like, hey, one of these things could be for me, man. You know, you never know.
Yeah, dude. So I did have him out there today.
Yep.
Whipping the baitcaster, and he's got it, dude. He's got it down.
He's got it
to go.
Oh,
he's got it.
That's great, man.
He's got it. Yep.
Good for him. That's awesome. Nice. And that's what you got to do. You got to do it now before you get out and blow up a day on the water.
Yep. But I tied a jig on there, cut the hook off. I was like, dude, let it rip. And I taught him. I was like, if it burns, and I taught him how to take it out. So, a couple of you like bird nests a little bit, but he got him out himself and kept it going. I was like, hell yeah.
That's like half the battle. If you can learn how to recover from it, that's the move.
100%.
That is the freaking move. All right. Well, we're gonna shift gears here, guys. We're gonna take a really short break. We're gonna come in and we have a bunch of guests. We're talking about the difference between big box and local tackle shops. Where are the advantages, if any? Are you just an absolute total piece of shit if you go to Walmart? What's the story? We're going to talk about all of this stuff and get down to it. Don't go too far, guys. Much more Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up right after this. I love that. Love that. All right, cool. So that's all good. All right, everybody who is in the, I'm not sure. Matt, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, Matt. There we go. Okay, so they can hear me. I'm going to go ahead and start rolling, and I'm not sure what I'm going to use for an intro here. I got an idea. Let's do a sting. There we go. That's that music. What's this? That's stupid.
Nope.
No, I think I already tried that one. These all suck.
They're kind of funny though. They're kind of funny.
They kind of are. You know what? Yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll use that one. All right. We are rolling. We're going to introduce everybody once we get to this. And here we go. In 3, 2. All righty, guys. We are back. It's another segment, Jigs and Bigs goodness. But this It's a different kind of segment right here. We've only had a handful of these before, but we've got another one. We have a bunch of guests to bring on right here. We're talking about something very specific. We're talking about big box versus local tackle shops. And it's just one of these roundtable conversations that we want to bring in. So we're going to bring in, we got Matt Thayer with us. Oh, I'm going to put you back, Joe. Sorry, Joe. We got Dan Griffin in the house. We've got The Butcher joining us. We've got Jay Manning, of course. We got the one and only Josh from Dark Horse Tackle. And we got Zek from Dark Horse Tackle with the fancy chroma key background. Look at you.
Wow.
Look at you, Zach. Your mic is muted, man. You can go ahead and make whatever changes you need. Gentlemen, how is everybody on this Monday evening?
Good.
What is going on, boys?
I'm loving life. I'm
alive.
So why don't we go ahead and do this? This is kind of interesting because we have bait retailers, we have bait makers, we have anglers all over the place. We actually have a former owner of a retail shop himself to give some feedback with. We're going to dive into it. So let's go ahead and we'll go kind of clockwise here. We'll start with Matt. He can introduce himself a little bit, talk about like his hot take on like what he thinks about big box versus local. So what do you got for us, Matt?
Hey guys, Matt there, Klondike Custom Freighting. If you hear me, I'm aggravated all the time on the show when I call in. But so I make baits. I sell to multiple different small tackle shops throughout the state of Rhode Island. But I try to keep it small as much as I can. The only thing that I'll buy, I even keep it small with us bait makers. Like really, the only thing that I buy, there's only a couple kinds of plastics, and there's only like hooks and line that I don't get from other bait makers. And then when I source those out, it's 9 times out of 10 from a small shop.
There you go. I love it. Now, how about you, Dan? What's your take on it?
So most of you that know me, I'm a small tackle guy. When it comes down to line and terminal tackle, if the local bait shops don't have it and stuff, I will go to the bigger shops.
Yep. Fair enough. And I think you'll find that that's probably a pretty common sort of way of looking at it. How about you, Zach? You have a different kind of take on this, being that you're a bait retailer yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. Always small business, as much and as often as you can. There's some things that you just can't. Hooks are a tough one, Line, I don't know. I like what I like, so I'm gonna go get that regardless of where it comes from.
That's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, no, small business. Small business. That's what creates the competition. Small business is where the new good stuff comes from. Small business, it's literally the engine.
Yep.
If it wasn't for small business, none of this other stuff would exist. So I prefer to support and try to bring up, the little guys at the bottom so that they can be bigger and eventually become big business that we can all say we don't shop in.
That's usually how it is. It's cool until it gets popular, and then you're just like,
no, man.
Fuck those guys.
That's a goal. That's a goal to be the person that no one wants to shop at anymore.
Exactly.
Right?
The goal
is that how capitalism works?
That's why they call it sell out. Guess what sell means? Means you got some money, honey.
Yep.
Fair enough. How about you, Josh? What's your take on all this?
So I have my own personal endeavors. Matt, I keep it as local as possible. I keep it as small as possible. I am not going to fault you for fishing. I will never fault you for fishing. We are all here because we love fishing. Now, if you get good at fishing and you want to talk about fishing, you want to talk about baits, you want to talk about presentations, things of that nature, that's where I come in. Hey, I'm also a retail owner. I've got an entire online retail store. I've also got, we've got stuff on hand too, expos and things like that. But for the most part, bait-wise, I'm keeping everything as small as possible. And I'm sure we can all agree, we all do our best to keep it small. But where I'm at, there's a few things. Yeah, I'm getting on Digitaka. I'm getting on the hookup tackle.
Yep.
Small American business, by the way. And I'm buying some of those very difficult to get baits from Japan. And I am going to indulge in some of those baits just because it's that JDM fishing actually like Josh Chitwood 2.0'd me.
Yep.
About 15 years ago, I heard of the hookup tackle and I was like, oh, this is badass. So that kind of reignited a flame for me with just a bunch of new stuff. And as Zach said, selling out means you made some money. So, people can be as mad as they want, but once the money exchanges hands and the new owner has the business, people get mad. That's been a big thing recently. People get upset.
Absolutely.
They get upset over treatment and things like that. Once that money exchanges hands, dude, it's up to that guy. But for the most part, man, I just hope people love fishing. And if you explain that you love fishing to me, I can point you into the direction. A lot of people say, I don't know where to shop. Dude, I know where to shop. I know who to go to if you want to keep it small.
Yeah.
That's my soapbox.
Fair enough, dude. I can totally get behind that. Now, Jay, what's your take on it?
Yeah. So, hey guys, good to see lots of you. I haven't met many of you, but for me, it's interesting. I grew up. My dad had a bait shop, a small bait shop. I worked there my first job. Certainly over the years tried to support, Matt, your spinner baits. I think I got my PB small largemouth or close to it last year. And actually, I've got a couple. I have a little bit of rust on them, but you guys should check those out. And Joe, I think I probably did my part at least the most I could. But I'll say now I've got a couple kids, and for me, fishing has a budget now, and the sky's not the limit, at least for now. And so things that I use a lot that I really like to use, I try to save money on. I'll be honest, like jig heads and things like that. But for the most part, I try to go local as much as I can. But I also think the reality is, it's hard sometimes. And there's also some great baits that have become big baits that used to be small baits that are hard to find because they've been bought up. So
it's true. Yeah, it does. It becomes a challenge. Now, what about you, Ryan?
What's up, guys? Guys, I always support local. Was supporting Joe over at Old Glory for a long time. Good friends, and then he parted ways with the business and made my way back to Ben's. I've been with them now for a little bit. Shout out to Dan. So huge local shack there. But I try to support local as much as I can. Actually, I was just messaging Matt about some of his baits. So I like to support all the local makers. But as Zach was saying and Josh was saying, I do love my JDMs, as Joe can say. You can't get JDMs at any store around here. I probably have 30 JDM reels now. And that's just something I'm a part of. But always support local as much as I can. Got a good supply locally, bait makers, great expos in the area. So that's what I do. Everybody knows I try to stay local as much as I can. So
Can I give a little small business thing right here?
Yeah, go for it.
So you got
come on, yeah, 100%, baby. Pig jigs all day.
Yeah.
Now,
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
I do think that there is a world of difference between fishing at a local tackle shop and buying direct from the manufacturer, buying direct from the maker themselves. Like that's on a whole other sort of plane. Like I'll give you a good example. Like when I discovered the Giltech line of finesse jigs through Dark Horse Tackle, the first thing that I did was part of that virtuous cycle was go directly to Giltech and say like, what do you guys have going on? And like you really do, you kind of build, and I'm sure Matt at some point or another has run into this where he has customers that have been customers for so long where like that conversation or dialogue goes further than just that one transaction necessarily. He knows the things that people are going to, so there's a certain level of service that is really, really, really almost intimate in a way when you're dealing with the bait maker directly. But you get into a retail situation and it's a whole other ball of wax. So Joe, what's your take on it? Big, because I mean, you've shopped big box, you've shopped local, course. You've owned local. Let's talk about that.
So it's crazy. So like I have a couple different standpoints on it. It's funny because like Dan and Ryan and Jay can all attest, when I owned the shop, I would be like, hey, yo, check this out, this new rod I got. And they're like, oh my God, like when'd you start carrying these? I'm like, oh no, I don't. I bought this off like Tackle Warehouse or something. You know what I mean? Like I can't get them, but I wanted it. So even as like a small business owner, you know, I ordered big box, you know, whether it's directly from manufacturer, whether it's from an online retailer, because there's a couple different reasons. What a lot of guys said is when it comes to baits and stuff like that, I have really leaned more towards that small business, that small company, and the reason being, I can't thank Josh and Zach enough for the companies that they've kind of put me onto just from their boxes. You know,
love these.
I mean, anything from the Jig Masters, the big Joshies, to the Battle Baits, to the Pig Jigs, all that stuff. Yep. You know, it's like those are like my go-tos. So it kind of goes twofold, where you have like the direct to retailer, the online retailer, and the tackle shop. So obviously a lot of these local tackle shops, which, I know Ryan's done well, I know Dan's done it, and I'm gonna try to as well, to get some of these smaller businesses into more small retail shops, like within an area outside of their original region, to kind of get more eyes on, so people that may not be following on social media or whatever, because guess what, social media is how you sell your product now. That's the number one. I mean, you can't really argue it. But I owned a small tackle shop. Obviously that's the first thing I want to do. But I'm also a realist in the aspect of sometimes you're looking for something or need something that a small tackle shop, including when I own mine, might not just have in it. I mean, how many times did Ryan, Jay, or Dan come in and be like, dude, I'm out of them. I'm trying to order more, it's, and as a retail, I'm like, fuck, like I'm at that time, I'm like, yeah, but I have this. Like, I don't have any more of those, but I have this. But now is that like I don't own that shop, and as an angler, I could see like, well, no, I don't want that one. I want the one that you don't have any more of. Yeah. So you kind of get so they might have to go to either another tackle shop or straight to either a big box retailer or straight to the manufacturer. Yep. Unfortunately, small tackle shops, it's a little harder to hold more volume or just more supply at one time. Sometimes the supply and demand's a little tougher because the overhead's a little bit different. But yeah, dude, when it comes to small, it's all about small business. But I'm gonna be on, like, I've gotten to a point where I'm very specific about some things that I want that I can't get as a smaller tackle shop. So I either go straight to manufacturer, I go to the big, like you said, I shop at Tackle Warehouse, I shop at the Digitaka, but I also go straight to so many manufacturers, like these small, like, like there's, I tried to buy out Dark Horse of all the Jig Masters or Jig Master ball heads a couple months ago. It's like,
yeah, if you guys are competitive, Joe Brown bought $13,000 worth of products. So if you guys want to beat that, darkhorsepack.com.
So, you have what it takes
Joe,
to
like
beat
you were
Joe Brown.
Yeah, it's like Joe, you were talking about with the. Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
But like you were saying with the small shops and everything, and not being able to stock stuff, coming at it from a bait maker point of view too, is if you have a small maker in that shop and somebody comes in and wanting, I want that jig, but I want this color skirt, you could say, well, I can get a hold of him, or you can get a hold of him directly, and they can, then you guys can work something out that way too.
I can back you up on that one, Matt. You probably know the guy, Paul from Hijack Jigs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was working with him real good last year. I've been trying to get him into a few spots around Mass here. Actually, I believe I talked to Joe when he had his shop about him, and now. All kind of diminished away, and hence why I'm working with Pig and Jigs now.
Yep. Yeah, Paul's good dude. He went the way of saltwater on us. So
yeah.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Rhode Island, it happens like that,
Yeah, salt money. Saltwater is where the money's at.
Yeah, it's so the number one thing, especially for you like small bait makers, and there's a company. There's a company that I've been trying to do a big order with for months now, and I just haven't been able to because, with these small companies, with the mat, with the pig jigs, with any of these small businesses, 90% of them work another job. Yeah. So this is like they're doing this like in their basement, like at night. Like Taylor from Fish or Die gets up at 2:00 in the morning, pours baits for 4 hours, then goes to work for 12 hours. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, how are you even alive right now? But but the angler, like me as a retailer, understands that.
Yeah.
Me as an angler, or anyone else as an angler, we don't understand that, because as anglers we're like, we want this and we want it now.
Yeah.
In kind of that that feeling of having a little bit of sympathy, goes away a little bit more. And but yeah, that's just it.
I do find that the guys that fish, they're a little bit better about certain things like that. A lot of them are, blue collar-esque stuff like that. And I've dealt a lot with, the public with outside of, the bait making and everything in the woodworking world. And they're like, well, you should have 16 of these. Why don't you, cutting boards, for instance. There's a lot of cutting boards. It's like, you didn't make 32 of these that look exactly the same. Why can't I have that one? Stuff like that, but a lot of the guys, that fish, they understand a lot of the stuff that we go through. And like you said, we work other jobs and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah. It's a big thing. I mean, as a bait maker, as a retailer, you realize you can't make everybody, no matter what, you're going to piss somebody off because you're not giving them exactly what they want when they want it. And you just have to, I
was just gonna comment on Zach and just ask if he was making baits for the new box coming out that I about to get hopefully here.
I was hoping he was.
Zach is. I'm not.
I was hoping he was going to hit that ramp right there.
That's actually Lake Arthur on a bad day, I believe.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that looks.
Yeah, hey, Zach, we're talking to you. Trying to figure you out, man.
Sorry, buddy. I had a neighbor call about apparently fire trucks that were coming down the street, and
apparently,
hopefully something wasn't on fire. But this house isn't on fire, so we're good.
Well, that's good.
So, Bobby,
that's fantastic.
Bobby, what's your take on this?
So my take is actually kind of a unique one, and I've had listeners, and I'm going to bring up something that a listener had said to me a couple of months back that I just baffled me. Mm-hmm. And there are parts in this country that are not that far from most of us where we are, where you just have giant gaps in resources for buying tackle.
Sure.
And I think using where I'm located is the best example. Are there local tackle shops? Yeah, there are, but they've been here for generations and they haven't ever evolved.
They're still selling the same thing from generations ago.
Exactly. That's the whole thing. They haven't really evolved at all. So most of these places don't even sell rods or reels. Right. So it's great to have access to baits, but unless you're going to throw some line on a Coke can, you're going to need a rod or a reel. So
sure.
And if they don't sell that, they don't really care to give you all the info about it necessarily, because who's to say that they're schooled on what's available in the market? So it's a bit of a challenge. And so when we say big box, let's go ahead and throw this out here. What is it that we're talking about? Big box stores. We're talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about that.
Big box serves a purpose.
Yeah. And we're also, look, if I want to go and buy a cheap microwave and a pack of Kytex, or maybe not a pack of Yamamoto's, I could do it there.
And some Newports.
Yeah, I was going to say, get you a pack of smokes.
Get you a pack of smokes, some fucking mystery meat, whatever you want. There is, I think, a time and a place for the big box store when you're hey, I've got to run in and grab this, but you know what? I'm going trout fishing tomorrow and I need to re-up my 1/8 ounce, rooster tail spinners. I'm going to go nuts because they're $1.29. Why would I not?
So it's funny you just say that, Bobby, because I went to Walmart the other day to buy.
I'm so sorry.
Fuck, what was I going to get?
Did you look at the discount rods?
So, dude,
They've got some Falcons there that ain't too bad.
The other day, I say the
They
other day,
got
this
some
was like
Lose there too.
Yeah, this was like a month and a half ago.
Falcons at Walmart?
Yeah, this was like a month and a half ago. I was buying something. I had to get something stupid, and I always go by the fishing section, just to see what they're putting in. And dude,
yep,
they had 6 cents like wacky hooks on clearance for $1 a pack.
Yeah.
You can't pass.
Yeah, I've seen those. I've seen those.
You can't pass that up. Like, because I love 6 cents wacky hooks, so it's like. Well,
that's the purpose that the big box serves. Is not everybody can afford small business. Small business ain't cheap.
Small business is not cheap, and that's okay because with small business comes better quality as well.
Sure,
yeah, mostly.
Typically,
but if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. What are you going to do? When I first started fishing, we went to the very bottom shelf of Walmart fishing department and bought their $1 crankbaits. Threw them until they broke.
And you know, sometimes it's not even because it's like that's what I can afford. Sometimes that's all that's available. Like I have 5 Walmarts, Northampton, Chicopee, Springfield. There's one and there's at least where. So I was probably 5 Westfield. So there's 5 that are around where you can go get fishing tackle in like 1 or 2 aisles. You know, and you're at the mercy of what's there. Dick's Sporting Goods is another one. Like we have multiples of Dick's Sporting Goods, but again,
they're the worst. They're the worst anymore. I don't know what happened to them, but they are the worst.
A lot of the Dick's Sporting Goods around here got rid of the fishing department.
Yep, they're just diminishing their fishing gear. There was a company called Public Lands that was a sister company to Dick's, more of an outdoorsy camping, fishing, kayaking.
Yeah,
and there was one down the street from my house. Out of nowhere, 50% off sale in 2 weeks. We shut the doors.
Mm-hmm. Oh no shit! See, all of the Dicks that are nearby us still have fishing gear. What they don't have anymore is guns. And like they
have guns in them.
That's been a while, but like their
they're
hunting
too scary.
department
Guns are scary.
They are scary.
Gone.
Guns kill people.
They still have fishing.
Yeah, cars
gear.
don't.
And I'll be honest with you, in comparison,
cars don't kill people. Bad drivers do.
In comparison to Walmart and Bass Pro, like Bass Pro isn't even in the wheelhouse for me. It's like at least a 40-minute drive to get to the nearest Cabela's.
I have a hot take.
What's your hot take?
Gotta say, you guys might not like it. If I'm going to shop at a big box store, for fishing gear, I am not stepping foot in a Cabela's or a Bass Pro. I am going to a Walmart. I'm going to a Walmart because of the way they buy their products. They buy their products to sell their products because they want to make money. They want you to get a good deal. Walmart will also double, triple, quadruple down on having the best pricing possible.
Yeah.
And we all know where this stuff's coming from anyway. But Bass Pro Shops, I think Bass Pro Shops is a little sneaky in regards for what they're doing for the fishing industry.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you,
you're paying for the name. You end up paying for the name in the long run. You know,
the name and the ambiance.
Yeah. Hey, but Matt, they have a big fish tank, buddy. They have a really big fish tank.
Yeah, right.
Did you see that?
Got a big fish. They got quad. They have quads in there, man. They got 4-wheelers in the store.
Look at that moose. Holy shit!
I don't know when it happened, but at some point, you are better off going to BassPro.com.
Yes.
Than you are going to a Bass
100%,
Pro.
And that website is an abomination, dude. Oh my god! Have you guys?
And I think that's why you're seeing fishing tackle go away from a lot of these bigger box stores like Dick's and all that, is because I just think no brick and mortar retailer can compete. Big box, anyways, can compete with the amount of crap you can get online.
Well,
I don't know when's the last time any of you walked in. When's the last time any of you walked into like a Sportsman's Warehouse or a Cabela's or a Bass Pro and were like, "My God, they had everything I wanted right here on the shelf."
Yep.
When was the last time that happened?
Yeah, very.
Do you know why Walmart has everything you need on the shelf because A, you didn't go to Walmart because you needed fishing gear, and B, you were just surprised to see what they had.
Yeah, but they don't. Walmart definitely does not have everything you need on the shelf.
No,
they
but
have
there's expectations for Bass Pro Shops. There's expectations
there are. I'll
for
give you that. I'll give you that. I do want to throw this out there though, because I thought that this was very, very interesting. So I had a listener a while ago, and I asked this question knowing that we were going to do this roundtable at some point. And I said, what's your take on big box versus local tackle shops? And this listener had told me that, we don't have much for local tackle shops around here. So I have to go to Bass Pro because it's 15 minutes away from me, and it's what's local to where I am. But he said something in there that I thought was insane. And he goes, big box provides a space that's catered toward this specific interest, meaning like this was a place where he felt like acknowledged as a consumer of this stuff because they provided almost like I want to say like he was alluding to like there being a sense of community,
almost like a curated service.
Almost no, not even in the product, just like when he went there, he was among like people with similar interest, and it was a place where he felt, and that's not the experience I get going to Cabela's or Bass Pro, Sportsman's Warehouse, or anything. I feel like it's a transactional sort of situation, and my take on it is for that listener, I have to say that as far as he's concerned, I think that he has never ever he needs to go to a local tackle shop, because if you want to talk community, you get way more of that community and experience in a local shop, standing around for 30 minutes talking after you've bought your terminal tackle or anything else. You get way more of that from a local shop than you ever would from any clerk at the Bass Pro or Cabela's or Sportsman's Warehouse, and definitely a Dick's. And definitely a Walmart. Nobody's going to sit and talk to you about fishing at a Walmart.
Well, some of my best conversations happened at OGO with the guys on this screen right now.
Well, I mean, you learn a lot from that community, right? It's hard. I think if you look back to like when the big box stores came into hardware stores, 50 years ago, you see Ace Hardware kind of coming in and trying to work with these like Clems and whoever to kind of have some network of stuff that that kind of you can get, you can get what you need, and it's a little more expensive. Everyone understands, but you get that local kind of flavor, right? And when I see Dark Horse and Matt, your stuff, I think, is there a way to do that for the fishing community? Like basically you go get everything you might need. Maybe you don't have, a Lastech or something like that. And you're going to have to get your floating nets from someone else if that's what you want. But, is there, so I see like Dark Horse and places like that starting to emerge as, kind of the Ace Hardware of fishing, right? Where you can go into a local shop, and maybe offer some of those baits and have that network effect. So I just wonder what's next, because I think it's a pretty tough time.
That's
to be
a really good point.
That's bait shop.
Great.
Yeah,
that's a
I'm
good
happy to help you guys.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good representation of both. The Ace Hardware. That's cool. That's a good. That's a good thing. Right there,
It's just hard because it's not one answer, right now. It's kind of
no. It's
and you guys, I think, represent some great products, and it's hard to make it work.
I like what Sean Miller just said right here. He says, you may also get a lot more opinions that you don't necessarily want in a small tackle store. Just playing devil's advocate. Sean, you are 1,000% correct.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure some of you guys that came into the shop, would have seen it. One thing I did about Old Glory was I tried to modernize, to the sport. So obviously, like I had to go with what the young kids were liking at the time. The Sixth Sense, the Guggen baits, whether us older guys don't like Guggen and we can't stand them or whatever, the young kids like them. And if that's what's going to get the young kids out on the water, that's exactly what I'm going to put in the store. But you get the old timers are in there like, oh, these things are fucking stupid. All you need to throw is this 6-inch black Senko and you're going to catch all the fish. Like, what the hell are you buying that for, you idiot? Like, you don't just buy this spinner bait right here and that's all you need. You don't need all this shit, blah, blah, blah. That's
all you need for one lake, Joe. I can tell you that right now, buddy. But I can give you a pure instance. Z-Man.
Yep.
Big company, sold in big tackle shops, right? Quality's all right. Quickly made. Pig and jig.
Pig jigs.
Right here. Pig and jig.
Pig jigs.
pig jigs, sorry, is you can tell straight up that, I mean, he puts his time and effort into these things.
Yeah.
And I've literally done drop tests with these about a foot. And the combination between the two, the Z-Man just, you can drop it from a foot and it won't stand up. These pig jigs you can drop from a foot and it will stand up on dry land without anything on them.
Yeah, I mean, there's always, you can always see the difference between those mass-produced things, those hand tied things.
100%.
It's always going to be, you know, night and day. I mean, same thing like for me with, you know, a soft swim bait versus, you know, a typical like big mass-produced soft swim bait and like a big Joshy. Like, guess what? Big Josh is the only thing I'm throwing. I mean, I have so many of those effing things that I bought over at Columbus. You're always going to get that better quality. And, you know, it's like for me now, it's like, yeah, cool. I'll still throw some of those big boxes. Like, dude, yeah, I still throw some Z-Man shit that I have for, you know, one, it's almost like
those wire hooks are horrible.
Yeah, they are. Yep. But, you know, maybe like, unfortunately, I might only have, you know, this color in this, you know, particular, you know, jig that I'm looking for in the Z-Man. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, you know, it's like I really try to hang to those smaller businesses because, number one, it's not even about like, you know, you have that virtuous cycle that Zach and Josh talk about all the time that I 1000% completely agree with. Mm-hmm. And you're just getting, you know, these people put in so much work to these products that it just tends to be a better product. And, you know, I'm always going to go with a product that I think is made better and that works better. Are there small companies out there that I've seen that I think are absolute dog shit? Yep.
Yeah.
100%. Just because, but you know what? At least they're out there doing it. You know, they're doing it because they love it. You know, whatever. That's a thing. Small business, the guys like Matt that are in his basement or his garage or whatever making these baits, not necessarily. He's doing it because he loves to do it. He's not doing it because this is the business. I'm gonna hit these 3 buttons on the machine. It's gonna make these 200 jigs real quick. You know, peel them off, put them in the pack, go. You know what I mean? There's some guy that's just doing his 9 to 5 and getting out of there.
Underdogs got to work harder.
Exactly.
If they want your business, they got to work harder. That's why small business baits tend to be better.
And truthfully, Matt's spinnerbaits they're just great looking and they put out a great thing.
Real spinnerbait.
Yep. It's, you know, it's I can argue both points. You know, there's some things that, you know, that come from bigger manufacturers, from, you know, getting off kind of the big box stores to like the manufacturers. Like there's some things I just prefer and I like better from, you know, the big names versus like the small businesses. And I'm sure every single person on the screen has the same thing about certain things. You know, I just like that coming from that big ass company that, you know, the sellouts that are, you know, doing the total capitalism thing and just owned by some kind of conglomerate somewhere else. But, you know, a lot of it can be you just like that product better. A lot of it could be, you know, Bobby might be throwing this one lure that he's been throwing since he was fucking 9 years old. And it's, you know, it's just all about the memories and stuff. And that's what he knows. And he has that confidence in that one bait that's been being produced since the 70s. So
I think Dan actually makes a really good point here. He goes, I get JDM, I get Tackle Warehouse and Bass Pro. Ben's tried to carry a ton of stuff, but of course it's impossible to get every single SKU from Yamamoto, for example. And it, you know, number one, the real estate alone in a small tackle shop is a challenge.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I know exactly what
Joe.
Dan's talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Dan does a good, like one thing I will say, Dan does a great job in trying to get like a really good, just mix of like, Dan's got everything from mega bass to small businesses in there, and he does a great job at really trying to get a really good like catalog of stuff in there. But we're not a 50,000 square foot, Walmart. So you have to become very smart about how you use your space. You know what I mean?
Challenge.
I can also admit
you know.
that Dan has, if he doesn't have it, he will get it for you.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time. I mean, I was in a predicament last year where I needed some stuff for a tournament, and he had it within 3 to 4 days before my tournament. So
yeah. And it's funny.
That's why I like the local small shops also.
It's funny what he says about here. It's impossible to get every single SKU from like Yamamoto, for example. And I will attest to this. You will get the absolute most SKUs you can get from that company.
Yep.
And you're gonna get that one asshole that comes in. It's like, well, why don't you have this one? Like you're not a real bait shop because you didn't get the rainbow pearl shad blueback fucking glow stick.
How many times? How many times I do that to you, Joe?
Nothing but the glow stick.
Yeah,
I
know
can,
what I mean.
It's like tell I did that.
It's so funny because like it's like I'd sit there and I on the computer and I'm ordering all the shit I possibly can. You're like, all right. I think I did good. I think I got it. And it's always the old timers, dude. You get that one old timer and he's like, you don't have this in this color? Like what kind of bait shot? Like you're finally proud of yourself. And that dude just took the needle and just totally deflated you. You're like, and that's when you realize you're like, you know what? Fuck it, dude. Like, do you want me to order it for you? The guys who are real assholes, I'm gonna say right here, you want me to order it for you? Oh, well, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll order it for you tonight and it'll be here like next week. And then
I think Joe still has a list from what I've ordered.
No, dude, I burned those a long time ago.
Joe,
do you
remember
that? With them.
Joe, do you remember that time I was working at OG and you came in and that old dude came to the counter and asked for that trout lure? And we looked it up on Google. They haven't made it since like 1985.
Yes. And that's the kind of shit you get. You know what I mean? It's like we'll be like yeah, dude, if I could order it, I'll order it. And you look, it's like you get some dude and like, oh, do you have the helicopter lure? It's like, wait, what?
Helicopter.
Like I'm not QVC, man. Like,
but what about the banjo minnow?
Oh,
do you have the banjo minnow?
I heard those are making a comeback, dude.
Oh yeah, they should absolutely make a comeback. Yep. I mean, hey, you put a little paint job on a fluke and call it a day, man.
Yeah, I have a set of those in my basement still, unopened package.
They're not melted.
No, well,
amazing.
I have
forever, right after
I have the as seen on TV, helicopter lure box. Still in the cellophane, like
with or without the VHS tape.
I don't even know. I've never opened it. It's still in the seal. It's
$5s of dollars right there.
$5. I bet you I could get that for like $37 on eBay right now.
I'll look it up.
It's just interesting because I think I think Dan makes a good point here. He goes about enjoying the camaraderie in a small tackle store. Anglers are going to shop where they want. I just hope most local guys check us out first. That's the whole thing. What it gets down to is that getting back to that comment from that one listener about like, oh, when I go to this, Bass Pro, I feel like that's a space that's made for me. Like, it's a place for anglers, which I understand, but like there are people who think Olive Garden is authentic Italian food. You know what I mean? Like, and I just
if Bass Pro is the only tackle shop in the area, maybe that's where the anglers do get together in that area.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If that's all that they have, like I get that. In in certain parts of the country, trust me, if there's one thing I can relate to, it is we have plenty of tackle shops around us.
Yeah.
And I have to drive nearly an hour to get to a good one. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's crazy where people will hang out. Like it was I don't know, it was like 10 years ago I realized that kids were hanging out at Sheets. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on a school night even.
Yeah.
Even.
Here's the thing.
I hung out on those on my trips down south.
Here's the crazy thing, and here's the big like if I'm gonna like give anything for anyone to take away, like my the booze is starting to kick in, so I'm starting to like forget words and stuff, but Here's the difference between the big box stores and the small tackle shops. The big box stores, all they care about is getting your fucking money and making that some guy, some CEO that's probably never casted a line in his life just wants to make sure
Johnny Morris, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. It's just making sure that they get those millions of dollars. Whereas those small tackle, whether it's a small online retailer like you guys at Dark Horse, or someone like hundreds. Or someone like, when I had OGO or like Ben's Tackle Shack or something, dude, they're not in it because they're making $1 million. No. They're not. They you know what? They're making it by every single month. And they're doing it because they love the sport, they love the people, they love working with the companies, and they just love doing what they do. Like, guess what? If you want to become a millionaire, you don't do it opening a tackle shop.
No.
That's 1,000%.
It's all about making the connections and making people.
That's
pay.
it, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? And I did okay. I wasn't making $1 million at Old Glory Outdoors because every single fucking penny I put back into it. I mean, and Dan, you, Bobby, Ryan, all you guys saw it, like when I opened the other side. You know what I mean? Like, that could have been profit in my pop. I was like, fuck no, let's make this place.
Come on, be honest. We all profited from you opening the other side. You left your boat there. Your tackle was in there. We all had free roam of the boat.
It always seemed like shit was missing.
It's always the way, isn't it?
But no, dude, it's like these guys. That's the difference you get, because I think it was you, Bobby, that hit on it. If I need to go get something I just stop at a Bass Pro or Cabela's, and you have that guy that comes up like, "Oh, can I help you?" It's like that meme with the dude from fucking Parks and Rec where he's like, "No, I know more than you do." You know? Yeah, exactly. But if you go into that local tackle shop, whether it's or just even online with these guys, they love the sport. This sport is their life.
Yeah.
It is. You know what? Guess what? They're not living in a mansion. They're not making $1 million, but they do it because they love it. I mean, Josh and Zach both. This is like their second job. Like this ain't what they do.
I don't know, Joe. You weren't there the last day of the expo, but we had some really fancy cigars, and we lit them with a burning $1,000 bill outside of the Airbnb. And, I mean, I think they're doing okay.
I hope it had Zach's face on it. Then it was definitely real. It was definitely real. But no, so that's
a friend of mine. Well, a friend of mine that owns a tackle shop. He goes, when he first opened his years and years and years ago, he goes, I opened a tackle shop and I got a book on how to run a tackle shop and how to make $1 million owning a tackle shop. I got it out of the fiction section.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but that's like, and that's the thing. It's like, well, like you were talking about too, and then we're talking going back and forth with wholesalers and stuff. I have a friend. He just closed the shop last year, but he was getting, the Barbie push button spin cast rods, and his wholesaler sold them for more than what he could buy them at Walmart for retail price. So he went and bought like 20 of them at Walmart because they were cheaper than his wholesale.
Yeah.
So it's like,
dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, Matt. I did shit like that at Old Glory.
100%. Oh, of course you did. I know you. 100%. Of course you did.
Like it's like because I'll be the first one. I'll be the first one to tell you, and I'm sure Zach and Josh went through this exact same thing. And there's been points where I was sitting there in Old Glory. It was like, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing right now. Like I have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's my sister that just
Every
piped
day.
in. My sister actually owned a tackle shop as well. Yeah.
So I can actually attest to Joe not knowing what the hell he was doing.
I still don't.
So one customer was right.
That one.
That's the best part.
I called him an asshole for you, man.
I had these guys on the screen to help me out. I had the Jays, the Ryans, the Bobbies, the Dans in there. Like, whoa, you need to do it this way. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
it's a hard business.
Hey, the one time I went to OGO, I bought shit. The one time I went, I bought stuff. Yep, that's like a 2.5 hour ride for me.
That's crazy.
You got to make
dropping
worth
stuff
it,
off, though,
you know?
I think.
Yeah.
that was my problem. Every time I went there, I bought something, but it was something new every time to try.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing. Like, Dan, you make a perfect example right there. So you go to a small tackle shop, you might be able to go in and say, hey, what do you guys have that's new? Show me something I haven't seen yet that everybody, isn't using. And then you get a little bit of insight of what's up and coming in the market or something. And you can try something a little ahead of time. And then you get instant feedback by whoever's there if they're also trying it. So if you're not going to just restock, it's a good idea to just make a stop in your local shop routinely.
Sure.
Just for the sake of getting an idea of what's available while you're there. Trust me, you're going to find something that's useful to restock. Like, oh, you know what I do need? Now thinking about it, I need more drop shot hooks. Let's go pick these up here. These are great.
Even at that, you might discover something. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's small, the people like Matt, the small local company that you're not going to see on the Tackle Warehouse or the fucking Cabela's, online or whatever. But guess what? You might see Matt shit on that local warehouse or that local tackle shop, and then people like Jay is catching their biggest fish of the year on it, or it's
spinner baits.
Yeah,
I can admit my PB came off of a hand poured bait from a local guy.
Yeah. Yep.
No,
that's the whole point, man. That's the whole point.
That's my only justification. Like my only justification for buying like a big name bait, like a soft plastic. Like I like to throw a lot, a few different kinds of Berkeley Max scent. My justification for throwing it is I bought it at a small tackle shop. Because it's like I feel like I'm cheating on my bait making buddies.
Yeah.
But it's like, all right, well, I got this at a small shop. Like, you can't hate me too bad, So
I throw a Strike King Raid Shad because they're badass. I don't feel bad about it.
Man, you got to throw what you got to throw, dude. Like,
well, the patent just did run out, so hopefully a small business will make something that's similar. But until then,
that's going to go for so much
Strike
money.
King will put a cease and desist on them faster than you know. They're going to renew that paperwork immediately.
It'll be Steve Parks personally. Trust me.
Oh,
I know.
We're talking about the same human being, my friend. Have you ever heard of the Hookset Hoodlums Rattlebug?
No,
you won't. You won't.
I know. I have a friend that makes bladed jigs that gets a cease and desist every year from fucking.
Oh yeah.
I know that person too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Zach, check out Samatus Baits. He might have what you're looking for.
I will.
Samatus
they get Samatus. They've had Samatus. They've had Samatus.
He's starting to make some stuff along the lines of
Samatus is actually we got Samatus coming in the March box. I got it in I got it in the warehouse.
The Vixen.
Yeah, I know he's starting
15 packs right here.
He's starting to mess around with small swim baits now. So
keep an eye out. Good stuff.
Yes, it is.
The Raid Shad is actually, believe it or not, it's not there. It's not their swim bait. It is a top water bait. And it's probably one of the most incredible baits I've ever thrown in my life.
It is the dumbest looking thing.
I think we've talked about this before.
We have.
Yeah.
But hey, somebody did a good job.
Bitch, you doing a good job, bitch.
It's crazy because it's the people like us that keep those small retailers, small tackle shops afloat. Because I'll be the first one to tell you. You know why I fucking order from Digitaka or Tackle Warehouse or whatever? You know why?
Booze.
Because I'm fucking lazy sometimes.
Yeah. Dude,
hey, I got a question.
Sometimes
I got a question about this JDM stuff, and I keep hearing JDM in juxtaposition
do meth
to small tackle and local business. Is it really?
It's very similar.
Is it really that different? Are maybe a lot of these JDM stuff, isn't it maybe just small Japanese business?
Yes. You want to
know a lot of it is. Yeah. It is.
Their stuff. They keep their stuff small and they actually hand make it. They don't.
Yeah.
It depends on the.
They don't do it the American way.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Roman made. We were just talking about glide baits. The guy carves Roman made glide baits on the floor. Like You know, that's just what goes on. You know.
Hey,
that's his floor time picture book, like a 3-year-old. He's just laying on his tummy with his legs up, and he's like,
"That's so right."
Fucking tummy time.
Someone's baby brother put a lot of effort into those reels I just bought.
Hey. JDM. We're talking JDM.
Super small business.
Wrong part of Asia, man.
Wrong small business, Joe.
So,
yeah, it's small in company, not small in humans.
Oh shit! Oh, we need to roll it back and start this over. I was in the completely wrong mindset for this.
My God,
the booze was kicking in.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh my
small
goodness.
business. I mean, it's always going to be the way to go because
I think that a lot of people, the immediate gut reaction is like small business all the time. It's cooler to shop small business. It's a little more punk to shop something that you don't have as much access.
It's against
to
the
be able
grain.
to just walk into. Yes, it is against the grain.
It's
100%.
not the status quo.
I like that.
Well, Bobby, you know, a lot of that you know, that whole thing is you see posts a lot of the time from people and you see like YouTube ads of like Tackle Warehouse unboxings, or this is what I got at Tackle Warehouse. You don't see that from a shop necessarily. You see it at expos and things like that, or if somebody's like a pro staff for, that shop or whatever. But it's like you don't see a Dark Horse unboxing all the time. You know, it's not as relevant
do on Jigs
as
and Bigs.
well, of course you do, but it's not. It's not those big. It's not those bigger show. Channels and all that kind of stuff.
There might be a YouTube video dropping here pretty soon about Dark Horse Tackle unboxing.
What I hate the most, and I'll carry on your back here, Matt. You're right. We get a handful a month.
Yeah.
And it's hard to track on YouTube. It's very hard to track on YouTube. But I don't care about the commodity shit that you just bought from the Strike King store on tacklewarehouse.com because I can drive a quarter mile down the road to any Walmart and get the same shit. Now, a lot of people like to do that because they're hoping, they're praying, because they got into fishing for some very weird reasons. While they love fishing, and I'm not going to judge their character on that, they got into fishing to garner attention from these mega corporations. Hey, Strike King, I really hope you see this. I bought some lizards today, and I got some tubes.
Yep.
Okay.
And
now
also, like
you've never had anybody.
Those are the people that get all the views.
Right. Well, but you've never had anybody, Josh, to hit you up and say, hey, can you be on one of my pro staffs because I want one of the big companies to be, because I want to be your pro staff so big companies see me as a pro staff member.
Zach has put it perfectly, and I've actually wrote it down in my notes as a rebuttal to what to say. And if you give me like 2 seconds, here we go. Thank you for reaching out. We do not send free samples. Supporting small business is not a free enterprise. We encourage you to subscribe to our Dark Horse Tackle Box or make an order with our bait shop. This way you can get familiar with the companies we work for, how Dark Horse Tackle operates. We can even send you a discount code. 9 times out of 10, that person stops the communication.
Yeah.
And I would go as far to say 999 times out of 1,000. It is a 0.001%. Hey, thank you for the code. I'm going to check it out. Dude, we have baits from $2.99 to $18.99. We have things that you can put together. Jigs and Bigs Pro Staff is crazy. Johnny Morris, listen, dude, unless you are a product of a certain country that is very large in Asia, Johnny Morris is not giving you a cookie, right?
So Alec chimes
Bobby
in here.
Is right. Alec is so right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what goes on.
So it's there isn't a week that goes by I don't get about 5 or 6 emails from
so funny.
Somebody who they just started their fishing Instagram and they're gonna do all of these great things. And
dude.
Jigs and Bigs, we love your product.
Go everywhere.
We love
I hear it all the time. They're like Jigs and Bigs, we love your product. We would love
you guys
to
listen to this
product.
shit.
And I tell them, I go like, look, and it's gotten to the point now where I'm just like, in order for me to work with you, I need lots of these are like high school fishing teams, and I feel bad because these are young kids.
Yeah, I do not want that sponsor on my high school fishing team jersey.
But who the fuck is the coach that's endorsing them to do this?
Yeah,
and that's what I want to get. I want to get one of those fucks on the air.
Oh, that's a good
on
FTG.
The show. Yeah,
FTG hot seat. FTG hot seat.
It's been FTG for a while, but yeah, I think having one of the coaches
who are the coaches? Who are the parents?
Yeah,
if I found out that my boys when they were young were emailing people asking for free crap, I'd have probably kicked their butts.
So Justin says it great. So right above Alex, Justin says it's good.
Wanted to go to that one.
So by the way, for the world, Justin's actually my cousin. I'm married to my cousin. He runs a tuna boat. I think Bobby and I have talked about it. So this is the one who runs the tuna.
He's married to his cousin.
You married your cousin.
He married my cousin. He's my cousin. Through
marriage. The alcohol is getting a little bit.
So
Justin actually nailed.
I'm getting an edible. Hold on.
So the pro staffs, people think like, especially people starting off in the industry or whatever in the tournaments, they think pro staff means professional staff. It does not mean professional staff. It's promotional staff. You are promoting that company. You're not a pro for that company. You are promoting that company. Oh man.
Good stuff.
You know what? From this day forward on the Jigs and Bigs podcast, I'm doing it sober.
I'm not.
And truthfully,
you gotta get that as a sound. You gotta get that as a sound bite. Anytime Joe screws something up, I'm doing this sober.
But not till the next show.
Your married cousin actually nailed that. And again, to being pro small business, OGO, Ben's Tackle, multiple people that I pro staff for. That's all it is. I mean, every now and then you get a promotional discount code to give out to people, or you get to use for yourself, but it's all about the same. And really, I use them to promote that small business.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
that's what we're trying to do. That's why Dark Horse Tackle has a staff of a huge variety of people.
Yeah,
who rep the boxes, the individual baits, all that kind of stuff. I mean, let's go back way earlier. Like,
it's real hard to find good ones.
The pro staff model was built on the backs of guides.
Yeah,
you know,
I can't wait. I got to thank Josh and Zach. I actually just got accepted to their team. Very excited to work with them.
Oh yeah.
Definitely looking forward to my first box here. I can't wait to see what I get. And I see Zach over there putting hooks on stuff. You want to, I'll send you my hard baits. You can do them up for me, or.
He loves just doing that. You know why? Zach does it
for the passion.
For the passion.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many times do you stick yourself doing that, Zach?
Oh my God.
Dude, I put a 1/0 vector treble hook straight through my finger.
Yeah, he woke me up to tell me.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised you don't wear those fucking the gloves that the butchers wear to not cut their fucking fingers.
I actually bought a pair of archery gloves.
Okay,
yes,
and I tried those, but the problem is even the really good ones with the thin leather that's strong, you can't. It's too small. Everything's too small. You can't feel it. Anything. The only answer to not sticking yourself is get better.
That's
true. All I want to say is
you're never going to get better either. You're always going to stick yourself. It's just what goes on. I hear you.
I'm fishing against a certain person in about 3 weeks here, and I need some really sharp hooks.
Two people. I'm coming
for
you.
Yeah. You coming too, buddy?
Oh,
is this the Dan?
Hey, I run the scale. I run the scales, buddy. Don't fuck with your fish. I'm gonna find it.
That's all right, dude. I stop by
you
his
gotta
house.
catch fish first.
Oh, wait till I see what I got for you this year, buddy.
I stop by Dan's house like twice a week when he's not home, and I go under his boat and I put a 1/32 hole right in his hull. So I can't wait till he fucking splashes that thing.
Yeah. The funny part is
Bill's farm's gonna be working real good.
I'm riding around with you this weekend in your boat. We'll see how that goes. Just saying.
Yeah. Alec chimes in. We got weights and fish. But Douglas chimes in and he goes, it is. It's about the people and the camaraderie, being part of a team and growing together, not just selling out to a major corporation for a sticker and a coupon. And I mean, I think that when it comes to pro staffs and the people inquiring about pro staffs, it says a lot about their integrity. It says a lot about their character, what it is that they're actually after. It's more telling, I think, than they are aware of. And, just fucking be cool, baby.
It's funny because capitalism's so funny, dude. And I'm gonna because Josh and Zach, those dudes put in literally their blood, sweat, and tears in Dark Horse Tackle because they want to be the online, and they have, and I know Dark Horse, they can absolutely do this. They want to be the online retailer. And then we're going to be doing this in a couple years. This roundtable again, we're like, man, fuck Dark Horse Tackle.
I can't believe they took a 6-figure settlement.
Yeah. Dude, they sold out. Those motherfuckers are on their yachts down in friggin' Key Largo or whatever.
Josh just bought his 6th vacation home. My God.
We'll have to pick a point at which we say fuck those guys. We'll have to just figure out how many.
It's crazy. We're all like, fuck those guys. But that's the goal. You know what I mean? Like Johnny Morris, fuck that guy. But I bet you he's got a sick yacht and a sick house I wouldn't mind owning.
Hopefully, as Dark Horse Tackle gets big, the most important part about Dark Horse Tackle will not ever go away. And that is that everybody involved makes money. Yeah, that's the biggest difference that I see between what we're doing specifically and big box retailers is we're not buying
big box subscription.
We're not buying a giant box of baits and paying you like maybe 20% of your MSRP for it. We're buying it from the guys so that they can still make some money. Hopefully that never goes away. So if that never goes away, chances are no, there will be no yachts. We might get big, but
I would know, Zach. I want to take a rip on you and Josh's yacht in a few years.
Hell yeah. I want to be grilling steaks off the back of the boat for all of us when on another Dark Horse vacation.
Like, fuck them guys.
I'm gonna be on that yacht in my Hawaiian shirt on the back of that yacht, and with Zach, I'm gonna be like, man, this is cool. And then I'm gonna be like, sipping my Cristal, and be like, you're a fucking sellout, dude.
I love how you guys are just picturing Zach and I on yachts as if like you haven't hung out with us and you're just pegging us as yacht guys. Buddy, it's going to be a 22-foot bass boat. You're going to be wearing UPF gear, and we're going to be in the middle of some sort of great.
No. You're going to be on the yacht, and some helicopter is gonna bring your fucking bass boat on and put it onto your dry dock that's on the back of your yacht.
That's right. And then we engage the bass boat through a secret James Bond like tunnel while we're doing like 40, and the bass boat does like a little water burnout and just zips right past the yacht, and we do this to all the poor people because we're fucking millionaires.
That's the way to do it. What else would you do?
Whatever you do, don't ever allow what just happened to Dobbins Rods to happen to Dark Horse Tackle. That's the only thing I ask.
Hey, man, I've got some opinions about that, and I already said it pretty much. Like, dude, once the check clears, every single promise that dude made obviously went out the window. Like,
100%.
He was like, wait, you want to pay me how much money? He's like, oh, dude, no. We obviously can't have all these people working here.
I'm not saying he's not a good guy. I don't know him.
But
he might be a great guy. But if all of the things that people are upset about, which honestly, all those people – FTG, because it's not your company, it's not your money, you didn't work for it, you didn't build it. But if he would have actually cared about all that stuff, he would have had it in writing so that it couldn't have happened
it's
the
like,
way it did. So he didn't. But you know what? Whatever, dude. He built that. That was his baby.
I got 2
He
champions
can do
for
whatever he
50%
wants.
off, dude. I could care less.
Dude, those I just saying those Dobbin rods are really good fucking prices right now. Just throwing it out there.
Champion XPs are $100.
I mean, some of that's got to be backstock.
Hey, thanks, Gary.
Yeah. You know what though? Someone waves a check, which like the one I'm sure he saw with all those zeros. I'm gonna do some weird. I'm gonna do and promise some weird shit too.
There's still a weird little sticker on the bottom of that rod, even though a lot of people think it's coming out of Texas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Maybe it wasn't the way
You
we
know,
thought about it all
then-
along.
Well,
What's
you got, we were talking about, the online aspect of everything too. And like, I turned lure bodies for a couple of different, bigger websites, Barlow's Tackle and Lure Parts Online. But they're both Lure Parts Online is a little bigger with their other department. But they were all brick and mortar tackle shops essentially, and they have tackle, they have hooks and all that kind of stuff. They have their own line of soft baits and everything.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's another one that, and then like the dark horses and everything like that. The smaller, we can talk about those smaller shops too, online itself too, not just a local shop. It's like I have a lot of saltwater shops around me. So it's tough to get, stuff to go fish a lake for a tournament or whatever at a saltwater shop is all.
Oh
But, yeah. Stuff like that.
That's like our next 3 tournaments. Try going to a local shop on the Cape and trying to get bass fishing stuff. Literally.
Exactly.
Right.
You have to go down
even
there
like-
prepared. Bobby, you should know that just being down there.
Yep.
I mean, even like you, Bobby, with the Connecticut River, with
Yeah.
the
Oh
bait
my
shops
God.
that you have near you. All they care about is the Connecticut River, dude. That's the only baits tackle they have is for specific to the Connecticut River.
It's 100% true, man. Like all the shops that we have here are so nichey. Like there's one spot that's along the river that is all striper and catfish. Like that's it. There's another handful of spots that are all very like heavily like trout focused. Because I mean, let's be honest. That's a huge part of the of the fishing community just in general. So then you end up with people in these pockets of the country that don't have like a decent shop near them. Now, don't get me wrong, there are decent shops. I mean, like Ben's and when Old Glory was open, that was about an hour away. And then if I go the other direction, I go to Berkshire Bass. Like they're not in this and it's crazy. There's one bait shop and.
Doesn't Berkshire do online?
Come on,
ordering
I think I
too?
know what one you're talking about, Bobby.
Is it Granby bait you're thinking of?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll tell you, every time I go into that place, right? Because I've been where I'm like, oh, I'm running low on these. I'm going to go and see if they have them. And it's always a disappointment. You know what I mean? When Sean was organizing the Western Massachusetts Fishing Report like 5 years ago, putting this thing together, and he approached all these shops. He was like, I don't know if these bait shops are open for business or if it's like a front for fucking drugs and prostitution or what, because if they had like no idea like what a fishing report was. And like it was all just, I mean, it's great. Like I get it. I understand like the primary money that like Granby Bait makes is in live bait and distributing it to everybody else. Like I get that.
100% everywhere with them is live bait.
Yeah, that's their thing. And there are so many live bait anglers that are out there. But like when you have like anglers that are like us, that are a sizable community, and we're pushed in an area where we don't have access to a great shop. So it's like, if I'm going to take an hour-long drive and I'm going to go to Ben's, I'm going to drop a stupid amount of money because I don't want to have to go back there again, like in 3 days or something because I forgot something. Like I'm going to go with a list and I'm going to go and make sure. Or you end up with a lot of guys. Like, I'll be honest with you, where I do the majority of my tackle shopping? First and foremost is Dark Horse, right? Then to fill in the cracks, it's Omnia. And if I have to, and I need something that's nearby, I'll do like a curbside pickup for dicks. If I have
he won't even go inside. He won't even go inside.
I won't even go indoors. It's curbside
I hope you
only.
I hope you clip that.
Joe,
sometimes I just do a curbside pickup for dicks. I hope
sometimes I do a curbside pickup for dicks.
I go to dicks for fishing gear too, man.
Joe, you remember D&G bait?
I remember D&G.
Same idea.
Yeah. So, oh god, this might get us canceled. You might have to cut this out.
D&G bait? What? Explain.
Oh my god! So no, D&G bait and tackle down in Leicester, Massachusetts. He was the epitome of like an old school bait shop.
Oh yeah.
He had the live bait and like just like Granby, he had a ton of tackle on the wall that had an inch of dust on it, but that was okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? He was in there. He had it for the live bait. What got him was the live bait, and he also did bow maintenance.
Oh yeah, there's a whole other. Yeah, there we go.
So Dave actually, I believe, Ryan, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I believe Dave helps out at Ben's.
Yes.
Who you own D&G?
He does. Yes, indeed. He does.
Yeah. Yep. So. Yeah, so I mean, you know, that's a dude who's been fishing since like the fucking
1910.
Yeah, the horse and trolley, dude, towing his boat with a horse and trolley. But I went there. I mean, that's where I used to get my shiners as a kid with my dad. Was D&G.
That's where I used to go get my tiny torpedoes.
Yeah. Yep. That's
it
like
just
where
blows my mind.
You know, it's like where Bobby gets his, curbside dicks from some.
Yeah.
Oh,
curbside
dicks. I can't say. I want to say it so bad, but I can't. Never mind.
That's coming from a guy that married his cousin too.
Yeah.
Bro, I live in small town North Brookfield. Weird shit happens here.
Weird shit does happen.
Yeah, I live in small town Rhode Island. Same deal.
I'm glad you're on that side, Joe, not this side.
Unbelievable.
So Dave, so I agree with Dan on this. Dave is a legend. I've known that. I mean, I remember going into that shop when I was like 8 years old, man, grabbing shiners.
Oh yeah.
And
that guy would talk to you for hours.
Yep.
He would hold you in that shop for hours, tell you everything about his bait, tell you every piece of dust on that wall. And he ran a Wednesday night tournament league that I fished for, I don't know, 10, 12 years.
See, that is cool.
So that was one of those bait shops, Bobby, where he actually lived above the bait shop. So like you could go there like 4:00 in the morning, ring the bell, and this dude crawls out of bed to come scoop your shiners.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like him or his wife. Unfortunately, God rest his soul. I remember his wife had a stroke and she ended up dying a few years later. But, that's crazy. Still does the Wednesday night leagues. That's gnarly. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he fishes them. He doesn't run them.
Okay, he fishes them. Yeah.
Yeah, he gave up running it.
Still, man, to be fishing 70, he's
76 years old. That's
Dude,
a boss right there. That's a legend.
And do a derb, man. Yeah, that's badass.
One of my friends, local shop owner, Hope Valley Bait and Tackle. He still fishes a Wednesday and Thursday night league.
Mm-hmm.
And then he fishes it with his grandson. I think he's right around 70 years old. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Oh my god.
Oh, Justin, that's the best comment all night, buddy. Justin, the internet. Justin, you win. You win.
So pissed.
Oh, motherfucker.
Oh man, this is just completely off the rails.
It's gone.
Just completely off.
Did you
the
really
rails.
think it was going to stay on track, Bobby?
No, I was.
Come on, Bobby. Where'd you want this to go, Bobby?
Joe, that comment.
Do you want showbiz or do you want a couple of guys talking?
Joe, that
Justin
comment
Lindsay
brought me back. That comment brought me back to meeting your brother for the first time.
Oh God, here we go. Yeah. If I told the stories of my fucking life to anyone, you'd be like, "This dude's from fucking like backwoods West Virginia."
Dude, I got some of those stories myself. I have members of my family that I don't admit to having because of that last name I'm related to, and I'm like,
Yeah, I just moved
nope,
out
not
from
related to him.
Yeah.
Freaking nuts,
man.
Freaking nuts. So
So
does
yeah,
anybody
the moral of the
have-
story. Go ahead, Bobby.
I
was just saying the moral of the story is shop small business, but we understand if you got to go to the big box.
Sometimes you gotta go over to the dark side, in order to
Sometimes.
get a specific item. I get it. I'm not mad at you. It is what it is. But I like the way I especially like the way that Josh and Zach came in. Try to shop local as often as possible. I think that's the best practice.
Yep. Shop local. If you have to, go to the next.
Yeah.
You know what, dude?
What you got to do.
Hey, look. You're gonna go into these local tackle shops. You're gonna go into, the Berkshire Bass. You're gonna go into the Beds Tackle Shack. Some of these others, and you're gonna pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
The chances are you're gonna pay a little bit more, and that's okay. Because you're buying from someone who actually gives a shit, who will actually help, actually help you and know what they're talking about with like, hey, man, I got a question about this reel or this bait or whatever, versus, going to save a buck by driving all the way up Cabela's, which you're actually burning the fuel anyway, probably. But it's like you're going someplace where the people actually care about, you spending money there versus
go up to the rail counter at Bass Pro or Cabela's and ask them about a rail, and then go into your local tackle shop. I bet you they're more knowledgeable about it.
Yeah.
And those big box stores talk a lot about having like the variety, tons of stock. Some big box stores, they carry exclusive items, lots of times those exclusive items are not fantastic, so you got to take your chances with them. Like I think, was it Lou's and Walmart had a deal, or maybe it was Lou's and Abu. There was, or not Lou's and Abu. Maybe it was Abu and Walmart, but like Walmart would purchase select combos and sell those combos at like almost what would seem as like a loss. But because they were exclusive, they just get them at a price that was just ridiculous and just move them.
Lou's is doing that with Walmart now.
Is it Lou's? Yeah. I wanted to say it was either Lou's or Abu. And I mean,
both of them are doing it, I believe. You walk through Walmart, you see both combos, and then
Quantum's a big one. You see it fucking
Tell you
Walmart
what,
these days.
Back in the glory days, I bought a Daiwa Viento about 2003. It's probably 12 from Walmart.
Christ, when I graduated high school.
$199 reel. So in today's math, young man, that's probably $400. I don't know.
$8,000.
Yeah. But I was going up to like 20.
Josh grew up in a recession or a recession or depression.
I don't know. I've lived through like 4 of them, so it's fine. I'll never own a house.
And you're the youngest one on here, so that's like sad. That's wicked sad actually for our country.
I make more money than my parents. I'll never own a house. It's fine.
Let's just admire that comment right here.
Yeah. Hey,
Wowza.
You got 2 choices when you grow up. That's what I'll tell my son. Hey, you're going to be a bass fisherman. You're going to have to make a choice.
Josh didn't live through a depression. He just has depression. Yeah. Thank you, Dave. Dave cleared that up for us.
It was indoctrinated. It was indoctrinated into me as a millennial. I woke up one day and they were like, hey, have you tried this medicine? You're depressed. And I was like, I am now.
That's so true.
Yeah, you bring your kid in for an earache these days, like, yeah, dude, he's got ADHD. He needs Ritalin.
Yeah,
like, no, her ear just hurts.
You put him on a serotonin booster? That's probably why his ears hurt.
Yeah, those meds cheer you up real quick, though.
Yeah. Hey, my daughter's here to get her teeth cleaned. Yeah, like, I know, dude. Here's some Ritalin. She's obviously got ADHD. Like, no, she just needs her teeth cleaned.
In about a week. But those teeth are going to be clean as shit.
Hey man, being a high school teacher, and the kids are ripping their weed pens. I'm like, man, that's got to mix real good with all the medicine they're on.
Oh God,
they got to mix it, Matt. They got to get the mix so they can fucking
exactly
straight line.
I have that kid. I have that kid. My oldest kid gets caught doing that. I'm like, bro. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
You couldn't go like.
You couldn't walk outside and just take a breaker. Like, come on, man.
Like, dude, every time I walk and get you, these people think I'm like some kind of crackhead from town. Like, I'm not, like, well, you cut this shit, dude.
Oh, great. Here comes this really young dad.
Never.
Would you have this kid when you were 12, Joe? You're probably the one giving him that.
Right. No, I'm 40, asshole. To them, to the principal.
A young 40, a very young 40.
Oh,
it's crazy. You've been in the military for 36 years and you don't look a day over 35.
It's amazing.
Amazing. You do this all night, Bobby. Oh, I gotta get up so early. It's gonna be a mess. I might call out tomorrow. I don't know.
You should
go pick up the boat instead.
I gotta edit this show.
We can always go to Lakeville.
Oh, you have to edit this show, Bobby. Jeez,
I gotta flip it. That's the beauty of Monday night recording. You gotta flip this sucker right over.
If I was still drinking, you'd have really had to edit it because I just said a good bunch of shit about our Asian friends.
So, I got a question. You edit it, but you're live right now.
So what I'm doing is I'm recording live to tape. So I'm recording. Okay. We're live so that we can get the engagement here and there. I'm going to edit the show. And,
I'm like the texts coming in on my phone are unbelievable right now.
Meanwhile, Canada rips 500 milligram edibles.
Dude,
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Between Bobby and Nick, man,
hey, that's a Nick thing exclusive, man.
Dude, that guy,
I am a low dose human,
and you'll never know. You'll never know.
No.
Like he's just like he's always. I love him to death. He's always just weird.
Ripped.
He's just Hey, have you ever noticed something very specific? And I'm like, I absolutely not. Like,
the best thing about Nick will sit down to you on a couch so nonchalant and be like, hey, I just took this like 2,500 milligram edible. Can you just keep an eye on me if you don't mind?
Literally.
Wait, what?
What exactly does that mean?
Wait, what? What's that even mean?
What am I looking for? Yeah.
Like, do I need to get like the fucking the heart shocker thing? Like, do you need that? Like, I don't know what you're asking.
The Canadian koala. Dude. He's got that rocking chair, and he just fucking just gets in it and just kind of melts into it. And
Nick is a tinkerer. He is a fishing tinkerer, and
he
knows that I am too. And he will come to me with some things I've never thought of, and he's like, "Have you ever thought? Hear me out. Carolina rig, Alabama rig, drop shot." And I'm just like, dude, no. Like it'll always be something just crazy, and I'm like, I've never thought of it.
It's just, I think he just like swivels and knots more than even
you really
fishing.
Think about it.
And he's a gear guy though, man. Like
I
love a gear guy, buddy. I love a gear guy.
Yeah.
I love when a guy's like, have you heard of this thing that I've never heard? If I haven't heard of it, dude, that's always something where I'm like, hold on. And by the way,
my attention, yeah.
By the way, I hate to say it, I caught my first fish on a Canadian bait this year. My first bass this year came off that damn Bondi minnow.
The Bondi minnow? Oh, nice, dude.
The water was serious chocolate milk. Like it was probably 2-inch visibility.
Really?
I had the orange sherbet color. It's the orange and pink.
Yep. Oh, the Dunkin' Donuts colors. Yes.
Put it on.
Should have had your Sematis traffic cone, buddy.
I should have had my Sematis traffic cone because I do have a bag of those. Because that day I will never forget. We got the traffic cone because we just told Jamie, we were like, hey, send us whatever. Like we were, it's just one of those things. Like we were so interested in getting Sematis into the box. We didn't want to be like, I want 10 black and blue, 10 green. We were just like, hey, do it. We got the traffic cone in, and I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, I got to fish on this thing.
Josh, I remember when I had him send Joe samples for OGO in the box he sent that showed up there. I went down and looked at it, and I literally just had to laugh at what he sent.
I love his colors, man. I love that traffic cone, man. That is, dude, that is a freaking.
I just thought of something
for it too. It's spot on. What's that, Joe?
It's fantastic.
We always like talk about how like Nick's Canadian and everything.
Yep.
Bobby, I think like me, you, maybe Matt, Ryan, Dan. I think we all live far, or Jay. I think we all live farther north than he does.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
I'm more Canadian than Nick.
Yeah. And I just got my passport. So
yes.
I'm going to go and visit Nick.
Nobody is more Canadian than the Detroit snow leopard.
That's true.
That's
exactly
where true. Nick lives in East Detroit. Like it's
pretty much
it's this far across the bridge from like he lives like within an eye shot of the what I call like the Gotham City like Wayne Industries building, which is the GM plant, the big GM building.
Texas Chemical, yeah.
That is the scariest looking building, dude. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Detroit, but when you drive past that GM building, you're just like, something bad is happening. Like there can't be that many people working for GM. Something bad is happening there.
There's an old man with a monocle going.
Factory. Yeah, he's up top. He's up top, rubbing his hands, looking down on the city, like
guys.
Mr. Bird, Mr. Bird.
I didn't tell you after Columbus this year. Like we told my daughter Emma where we went. Like after the fact, she didn't talk to me for like all day and cried for like a half hour because we didn't bring her this time.
Oh,
that we didn't bring her to the Columbus house. And you know who? There's only one person that she remembers the name of. As she remembers from Columbus. You know who it is?
Nick.
Fucking Nick. She's like obsessed. She's met him once. She's obsessed with Nick.
There's a part in the video from that weekend that I put together where Zach, Josh, myself, Dave, and Nick, we were all out having dinner. And there's a spot where Nick was it was in the moment where he was ordering 8 Long Island iced teas to go. And there's a point where he was like mocking what I was doing with the overrated, underrated with people while I was recording.
He lost his mind.
He goes, yeah, it's like, it's just guy. He's like overrated, underrated. I'm going to put a link in the description of this to that section of the video. I'm going to, with the timestamp and everything, so you can check it out. What do we got here?
One of my favorite, I think it was the first night we went to Oldfields. Him and I are standing next to together, drinking. We both tried a beer together that we haven't drank. I was like, this is pretty good. He's like, you know, it is pretty good. I think I'm going to start drinking Long Islands after this. I'm like, wait, what? Like, it's going to be that? He's like, yeah, I think it's just going to be that kind of night tonight. I'm like, oh boy.
I hope you guys stopped drinking those after the Rusty Bucket.
Oh.
Period. Oh wait, you
was that when we
there? Were you, Joseph?
Wait, no. Was that wasn't when we were up on stage? The one that Dave brought, was it?
No, dude.
Okay.
We went to the Rusty Bucket afterwards, and like on Sunday, had like a good kumbaya dinner, and I feel like everybody, but like me for once, was just being a freaking weirdo. Like everybody was just being like, even Dave. Like Dave was like, "You see this Kendrick Lamar guy on TV?" And then like Nick is he's just gone, and he's pissed off because everything there is fried.
Oh my god.
Bobby, I thought maybe I didn't mean to share that.
So, no. I had to throw this in here because Michael Bradley commented. He was like, "Hey, Bobby, take a look at the AK punch lure. What does that look like to you?" Yeah, that's the AK punch lure right there.
So I want
take my money and I want it in every color.
I need you guys to realize that bait is only
make a Magnum.
What size does it come in?
There's something for scale.
That bait is 2.4 inches. So I want all you guys. I don't want you guys to buy that. And if you have wives, do not let them see it.
That's obviously 7.5 inch.
Yeah, exactly. That's
lower.
what I was saying. Mine's about 11 on the screen.
Tanya chimes in, and I don't know if this is after I showed the picture or not, but she goes, "Try walking downtown Detroit at midnight. It's crazy." Do you
so
run
my
into
sister
this a lot?
She gets slapped, right? Someone comes up. someone comes up with their AK punch lure, just slaps her right in the side of the face.
I'm gonna buy a bunch just to give them out of trivia.
Because it's 7.5 inches, not 2.5.
Of course. What is wrong?
Centimeters.
Oh my God, fellas. Do I think that we reached a conclusion on the big box versus local tackle shop? No. Do I think we needed to? No.
No,
I don't think
absolutely. It's up for discussion, dude. It'll be perpetually up for discussion, and everybody does things different. And a lot of times it's situational. Because listen,
yes, you're 100% right there. It is.
One time I was fishing a big money 5-figure tournament up at Lake Erie. I had 4 rods in my car, and guess what? I didn't have any tackle, so I had to stop at 1.
It happens, You get in these situations and you're just like, hey, I gotta make this. My God, fucking comments. Douglas
Usually
measure from the back.
Yeah, when I start throwing those 2.5s, I usually break out the extra heavy rods and the mag heavies.
Buddy.
Oh,
you got it. You got it. Big baits
usually
only,
use a surf caster is what I'm throwing.
Yeah, it's an 80-pound braid here, bucko.
I'm only going for those big fish, boys.
Oh, I've been told a lot of times, big baits only catch big fish. Only big baits catch big fish. That's a good roundtable discussion for you, Bobby. I'll be there for the next one because I love that conversation.
I think that is a great conversation to have. 100%.
The 3 biggest bass I've caught in the past 4 years have came on a 3.25-inch swim bait on an 8-ounce head.
I was going to say some of my biggest fish have came off of probably 3 to or less.
Dan only throws live shiners.
Oh yeah, okay. You're just jealous because you can't.
And a
keep
bobber.
Up, bud.
Dan
you
throws.
Can't keep up. That's all.
Dan throws live bait on his bobber.
You just can't keep up with me.
He's cast netting. He's at the turn. He's live scoping with a cast net.
You guys. Bogley's getting all nervous now. Stop. He's gonna weigh my fish.
I'm not
what that you're gonna grab all the live shiners before he does?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be jamming them down the
I love you guys.
Can I tell you guys this has to be off record? I'll do it for the jig heads, but it has to not be on the podcast. So I was doing a benefit, right? When I fished like national junior tournaments and stuff, we had like a big equity program where we would go to like special needs camps or like take underprivileged kids fishing. It was both underprivileged and special needs. Dude, so we're at this community pond and we've got live shiners. We've got a couple dead ones, and there is a very intellectually inferior person. And I look over and there's a little fork sticking out of his mouth. Dude, he was eating the live shiners.
Oh my God.
And dude, the way I am, man, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I walk over laughing and I'm like, what's going on, man? And he's like,
what are you doing, buddy?
He's talking with his mouth. So and I'm like, I can't. And I'm like, is there an adult? I'm 16.
Yeah.
I'm like, is there somebody?
This is out of your skill set for handling.
Somebody has to come over. And
stranger danger.
Anybody take
Hey, you guys know why I don't do charity tournaments?
So kids don't eat live diners.
No, I don't do charity tournaments because I get so much anxiety that I might win and that I'm gonna want to keep the money when everyone's gonna expect for me to give it back. So I don't even do them anymore.
That's gonna be the one we win.
First off, when do you have a win? Second off, Josh, I can tell you, I dealt with that for a few years. We fished with the inner city kids out of New York. And you want to talk about interest in fishing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're probably wondering why you were fishing for bass instead of eels.
Yeah. Or whatever they caught in those. I don't even know what they caught in those inner city ponds. I didn't trust them.
A lot of them are stocked.
Alligators.
Alligators. I went to New York City probably like 10 years ago, and I had a travel rod, and I like fished out of like Central Park just to say I did it.
Yeah.
And there was there was a good bit of bass. Just it's almost like they're spoon fed, dude. It's pretty crazy. Like you just throw a weightless stick worm out there, and it's like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, I could tell you, if you talk to my wife ever about fishing with the inner city kids, you'll get a hell of a story.
Oh, dude, it's always something. Like here's the thing, it's always an interesting time to fish with people who don't fish.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the best.
They got a story about their uncle or their grandpa. And if you do something that their uncle and grandpa doesn't do, they're like, you're a piece of shit. You know that? My uncle. Okay.
So that happened to me. Like when I was down in Key West, I brought my dude, one of my best dudes in the military. Dude grew up in the Bronx. You know what I mean? Never threw a pole. Dude, like for the first like half hour, the guide is teaching him how to cast a spinning rod. He never casted a rod before.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. He hooks into the first one. I'm like, this motherfucker.
Yeah, you're the resident fishing pro there. You're like, all right, everybody stay back. All right. Let Joe handle this.
Like, okay? I was like, oh, I was like, dude, that's so awesome. Deep down, I was like, I hope he fucking loses this fish right now.
That's why I always talk when Zach fishes, because I figured it out. One time I watched him hook a really big fish, and I was like, oh, that's probably bigger than the one he has mounted. And I was like, that's a big one. And he's like, came off. And I was like, huh. Then the next cast, he's like, got another one. And I was like, that's a good one too. And he's like, that one came off. And I'm like, oh, it's a superpower now.
I did that with Wild Bill from
yes.
when he. Yeah, I was out kayak fishing with him, and he had a monster hook the whole time. I was like, dude, that's your PB, that's your PB, and he lost it.
You stab it with the net,
dude. Oh, that sounds familiar. Who's
a net stabber? My dad is.
Zach made.
I didn't stab. I never stabbed. I was just making a carnival game out of it.
It was a carnival game, dude. It was like trying to throw the softball in the fucking moving basket, dude.
My favorite is the guy who puts the net in the guy who puts the net in the water and tries to scoop. Like, I'm like, dude, you're moving 900 pounds of water in a 10-ounce net. Just take it out, leave it in the water. I will bring it to you. I promise you. The 7'6" rod that drug this thing out of 40 feet of water is just as good as dragging that fish to the net. Just stay put, please. My dad.
And your sister calls you out.
Oh, shit.
Is that from like your cousin, married
Bobby?
Cousin
I'm gonna give you a list. I'm gonna give you a list of like the 287 people in my family, and we need to block them all on Facebook.
Okay. So I hear Jigs and Biggs is now looking for a moderator.
I'm out.
Zach's got that sweet figure eight netting technique.
Yeah, just put a couple spinnerbait blades on it. Maybe a muskie will come up.
Anything's possible. Oh, this is a good show, gentlemen.
Good show.
Yeah, this is really, really good. You guys, why don't we go around? You guys can give a little shout out, let folks know where they can find you, and follow up with you if they have any questions. Let's go ahead. We'll start with Matt. Matt, go ahead.
Again, Matt there. Klondike Custom Creations, Instagram, Facebook, working on the whole website deal. Handmade baits, Southern Rhode Island, wood top waters, wire baits, all that kind of fun stuff.
Very nice.
Well,
How about you, Jay?
Hey, you guys catch me on Jigs and Bigs. You guys join Jig Heads, $5 a month. Get on here live, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
The Butcher.
Butcher.
How about you, buddy?
RJB Fishing on Instagram. Keep up with the local community. Support the local shacks. Come out and fish if you're local. ABA is looking for some people to kick Dan and Joe's ass. So let's keep it up.
You know, yeah, I'm actually so in all fairness, like Ryan and I haven't fished. I don't think we fished to get like against each other once last year. Like I'm excited to see to be back on the water with the Butcher.
I'll tell you what.
The last time I fished against you, Joe, you tried to give CPR to a fish at goddamn Quincy. Okay.
Oh Oh shit, that's right. Okay. All right, Dan. Dan's next.
Oh, yeah.
Dan's next.
Dan, what do we got, Dan?
Was that
So
cousin?
you can either catch me picking on Joe on Jigs and Bigs every now and then. You can follow me on Facebook, TikTok, whatever, Instagram. I'm all on there. So
give your handle.
it's D Griff 193 on Instagram. I believe it's Dan Griffin on Facebook, and I believe it's just D Griff on TikTok.
All right.
Give me a follow, give me a like. Starting to post a lot more now, so that time of year.
You're damn right it's that time of year. How about you, Josh?
Well, I will take the position that Zach usually gets to take because usually he's to the left of me, and this time I'm to the left of him. So I'm Josh Chitwood Fishing on Instagram, but more importantly, Zach and I own Dark Horse Tackle, and you can find us on all of the platforms at Dark Horse Tackle. One word. I did fix the YouTube. It is simply Dark Horse Tackle, no numbers.
Sweet.
Nice.
And we have
Sweet.
a website.
A very, very good website. Zach, how about you?
Dark Horse Tackle, Dark Horse Tackle, Dark Horse Tackle. That's it.
Oh yeah.
That's and if you look for me, you probably won't find me. You'll probably find Josh. I'm just back here doing the work. Sometimes Josh lets me eat. Sometimes he doesn't.
I'm waiting to use him for a picture with like a cardboard box and a really fucked up hoodie.
And if you do see me, you're probably just going to see my backside because I haven't figured out anything besides a camera coming from the back.
I take a
end
lot
of
of
my
pictures
boat.
of his ass though, so look out for that one too. That's a different link.
That's a whole separate different Patreon monthly fee right
Dark
there.
Horse Tackle after dark.
Yeah.
I think it goes by OF.
Yes, absolutely. That took me a minute to figure out, but we got to wrap this sucker up quick because these are starting to kick, guys, and I do have to edit this show. Big shout out and a big thank you to everybody who was in the live, jumping in the comments in here. I know we had John Hagens, we had Tanya, which gave some comedic relief. We got Todd Sefton in the house. Alec Plotnikevich was with us. A whole bunch of folks. Justin, we got Douglas, we got Michael, we got. Let's go through this list here. We got Dave, the Wolf of Walmart, was with us too.
Oh, love you, Dave.
Good stuff. You guys are absolutely awesome. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to take you guys and put you back into the staging area right here. And we'll just go ahead. We'll wrap up the show, myself and Joe, and we'll see you guys with more Jigs and Bigs next week. Joe, what a fantastic show.
What a great show. Those are
What
so
an
fucking
amazing
fun,
show.
dude. They always go off the rails.
Yep, they do.
But they are so fun. They're so fun.
A ton of fun. So do me a favor, everybody. Make sure to, if you enjoyed this show and you have some angling friends that you think might also enjoy the show, share this with them. Just there's a little, if on Spotify, if you go over on Spotify and you're, most of our listens are on either Apple Podcast or Spotify. But for instance, if you're looking at Spotify and you're like, oh, wow, I'm really enjoying this Jigs and Bigs podcast. I'd like to share this with somebody. There's a little share button right there. You can go ahead and send it to whomever you like. Text it to them. Let them know all about it. It helps us out. It is the biggest way you can help Jigs and Bigs grow is by sharing the show with your friends. And it goes a long way. And also, if you're having a good time, go ahead and throw us a review, a little bit of a rating. It always goes to help. We appreciate it. And it's awesome. 2025 is game on. And I hope everybody is ready. Because we're ready, and I know everybody that was in this roundtable is certainly ready, and we're gonna go out and freaking catch him. So good stuff. You got anything else for us, Joe? You good?
No, man, that's it. I'm good. Thanks all the guests. I can't wait to do the next roundtable. I need to bring myself back in. We need to do a few, the regular shows before I get ready for that one. But yeah, let's Bobby and I'll figure out the next roundtable and give you guys some more comedic / good content.
You know what I think would be a really good, and this idea just kind of popped in the head, is we should wait until after like the spawn goes by for us and we're post spawn.
Yes.
And then we'll have a bed fishing conversation.
like it.
How was
I like it.
You know what I mean?
like it.
That could be kind of fun. That could be a whole lot of fun.
Yep.
You guys are absolutely awesome. As always, do us a favor, share this show with your friends, leave us a review. We know that our listeners are the best on the planet. We can't thank you enough for checking out this program. So we're going to wrap this sucker up. We'll see you guys in 7 days with more fishy shit from Jigs and Bigs. Like we always say,
tits and ass, smoke some grass.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Sweet.
All right. I'm going to let all these guys back in here so we can wrap things up and call it. Beautiful. Excellent program. Ladies and germs.
Yeah, man.
Good to see you guys.
Everybody really liked that. That was good.
My favorite part was the exact moment when you could read Bobby's face knowing that he had lost complete control of everything.
Yeah, 100%. There was one point, did you notice, Zach, where I put my mic like this and I was just like...
I did.
Okay.
That was my favorite part.
I'm like, all right, we're just going to go. Oh, there's Dan. Dan's back. Dan is back. I got text going off. What's this? Oh, shit. Yeah, I just got your text.
We appreciate
it. It's all right. Next week works.
Oh, yeah. I'll get it next week for sure. Oh, my goodness. Well, guys, I'm going to go and edit this sucker and make some podcast greatness. And the finished product will be in your inboxes in the morning.
Fantastic, buddy. See ya.
You guys have a good one.
Nice to hang out with all you boys.
See you later, boys.
All right, you guys.
Later.
Oh, there I am. I'm back. I'm back. I got kicked out somehow. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm in the green room. They hate me."
I got your text, and you're like, "I'm kicked out."
I was like talking. I was like, "Oh fuck, I just got Zach's text," and then I was kicked out.
We just had some stuff to say before we brought you back. That's all.
Say bye.
Bye, little. You are up way too late. You need to go to bed.
I know, mommy's yelling.
She's like, no, I'm hanging out.
I'm so glad you look like mommy.
Right?
Yeah. Thanks, Joe. anything fishing, she has to be a part of. That's why she's over here holding.
That's awesome.
$200 swim bait. Thinks
that's
it's her
awesome.
toy.
Good for her.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
See ya, guys. Awesome show.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
So much.
Thanks for having me.
See you.
Lots of fun.
Everybody.
Lots of fun.